In this world, there's two kinds of people, my friend. Those with loaded guns and those who dig. Broadcasting from a Montana wilderness fortress at the headwaters of the Missouri, this is Matt Christiansen Live.
The final episode of The Colbert Show airs in 1 week, next Thursday, May 21st. Good. It was in the midst of the CBS-Paramount merger last summer when Redstone and her company decided, quite surprisingly, to cancel The Late Show with Stephen Colbert.
That's incorrect.
They attributed the decision to economic reasons. They denied that it was political.
Try harder not to suck.
You can make of the timing what you will, but it is inescapable that the decision by CBS Paramount pleased Trump. Standards, once eroded, seldom return. Would a Democratic president want to use this precedent? Spotify, when it comes to Joe Rogan. What pressure could be put on Fox when it comes to Fox News Channel?
Who gives a crap?
So who's next? And how long will corporate America's chieftains sully their reputations to please one man?
You are fake news.
Ooh, don't do it.
Very fake news.
Please don't do it.
Let's go, Brandon. I agree.
What is this?
A center for ants? I doubled the size of it, you dumb person.
He's absolutely right.
All right, America, go to the YouTube right now.
Duct tape all over the place? It's a disgrace.
All right, go.
In 5, 4, 3.
I can't do it. We'll do it live.
Fuck it, we'll do it live!
Hello and welcome to the show. This is Matt Christiansen Live, a proud duct tape production for Sunday, May 17th, 2026. Thank you for tuning in. You hear that? Maybe not. Great time for the neighbor to start up his loud truck right at showtime, but that fits the duct tape theme. What can you do? Sitting shotgun tonight in his usual Sunday seat is highly regarded author Matt Palumbo. Welcome back.
Good to be back.
It's a special show tonight because we have not one but two guest segments. That's how hard the highly regarded Matt Palumbo is working.
3 guests.
Kind of 3, yeah. 2 segments, but 3 guests. You're right. Later, we'll hear from Ethan Rundell, the publisher of the controversial book, The Camp of the Saints. Highly regarded author is Matt Palumbo is reading that highly regarded piece of literature as we speak.
I give it a highly regarded recommendation.
Briefly banned from Amazon last month. It's a novel about the destruction of the West through mass migration. You could tell me, I haven't read it.
Yeah, that's basically the summary of it. Very quotable book. And I realized I need my books to get banned from Amazon. That's my only way I'm going to be successful in writing.
You should ask Ethan for his highly regarded Matt Palumbo was working too hard. He was not able to join that segment, so he didn't get any tips on. I
was helping reverse the problems listed in that book, ironically.
Yeah. All right, the truck just took off, so that's good.
Good. I couldn't hear it, by the way. So.
Well, that's. I'm glad to know that the noise reduction is working then. Anyway, we'll get to that segment later in the show. And yes, as discussed late in the show last weekend, we also have the Fitzgerald twins, the 2 Rhode Island brothers who hoaxed a KKK sighting a few weeks back. We talked about during the Hoax Hate segment. This is one that's going to go down in stream history. Don't expect
I don't want to
sincerity.
overhype it, but it's so funny.
It's a strange one. We'll get to that to close the show. We'll see if the technology allows us to get there. You know, who knows? We might have
Are we going to debrief afterwards, or?
Oh, there'll be time. Yeah, we're coming back because we'll do super chat after that.
Good,
so we're coming. We're not just leaving after that. But in the news for discussion tonight, a million things to talk about. Trump is back from China. He says he achieved great things. We just can't be told what those great things are, so we're left to wonder. Republican Senator Bill Cassidy from Louisiana gets primaried. I didn't know he was actually at risk. So that was a surprise to me. We'll talk about that. And then Tuesday is Kentucky Congressman Thomas Massie. So will Thomas Massie survive what is now the most expensive House primary race in U.S. history? Later in the show, you're going to break down, or before we get to the guest segments, you're going to break down the Chud the Builder shooting altercation outside a Tennessee courthouse. I haven't looked into this in detail, but I knew it was interesting, so I'm excited to learn about it.
Yeah, an hour before the show, so I found someone did an analysis of 10,000 cases from that same court system to compare the bond he was given to see, is this, in line with what you'd expect? And it does seem there was some very obvious political bias against him, and I'll go through the numbers soon.
Facing an attempted murder charge, so we'll get into that. Plus, to close the show, elderly floozy, we'll actually do this before the Fitzgerald twins, but elderly floozy Chelsea Handler ponders why good men are so hard to find. Then we have Hoax 8, then we'll do the Fitzgerald twins. But before we get into all of that, we got to say hello to our featured listener-owned business for the evening. That's our friends at Elysium. Most of us use way too many apps just to stay productive. One for tasks, one for reminders, another for habits, goals, scheduling, and they don't work together very well. That frustration is why listener and chatter of this show, Tortuga, spent almost a year building Elysium. Elysium is an all-in-one productivity app that brings everything together: goals, tasks, habits, events, appointments, and reminders all in one place with flexible nesting so they actually work for real project management. Have an extra 15 minutes before your next meeting? Hit the Make Me Productive button, and Elysium intelligently pulls your highest priority task. Auto-scheduling makes planning effortless. Natural language lets you create schedules instantly, and built-in alarms help you stay focused. You can even collaborate with teams, share notes and files, and integrate with popular note apps. Learn more at elysium.is. Elysium is free to download and use, and listeners of this show get 10% off advanced features for life using promo code MCListener. That's promo code MCListener for 10% off advanced features with Elysium for life. Get started for free at elysium.is.
I noticed there was a tab on Elysium for TPS reports. I legit thought that was just an invention from Office Space. I had no idea that was an actual thing.
It might be. I don't know. Our friend Tortuga made the whole ad, so
very cool.
Maybe it was a reference. Maybe you caught a little Easter egg in there.
Maybe.
Anyway, if you want to check out Elysium or any of our fine other special offers from friendly listeners of this show, mattchristiansenmedia.com/deals is where you do it. Deals by listeners for listeners. All right. Before we get into the serious news, this what I'm about to show you has to be, I think, one of the probably the most time-intensive piece of audience artwork ever submitted.
Oh no!
And it's from listener Kevin L. Now, of course, recall the story of LaDonna Ritchie.
We all know LaDonna.
Of the Seattle woman infamously told the Asian woman at the gas station to
go eat your dog with some rice, bitch.
And then when confronted, defended herself confidently and vigorously.
It's not against the law, ho, fuck you.
And LaDonna has been the subject of an entry of AI music from the audience. Listener Burn Bridges Brightly created the song Rice and Rage, or, I just call it Go Eat Your Dog.
Go eat your dog with some rice, bitch. Races melt down in the neon light.
Okay, now Kevin L. has completed the production. He created an entire AI music video for the song Rice and Rage. So I give you the band, the Prima LaDonnas. Here is the chorus to the song animated by Kevin and AI.
Go eat your dog with some rice. Yelling from the window full of spite and vice. Go eat your dog with some rice, bitch. Races melt down in the neon light. Pump the hate, watch the internet ignite. LaDonna Ritchie, all in the fight.
Okay, that is just a brief portion of the entire 3-minute song. He didn't just do a little segment of it. You may have noticed the fat J.D. Vance enjoying some dog on rice at the restaurant in the clip. But the depth of the characters and the references in this, very impressive. Firstly, we have LaDonna herself. Now, this is the original video of LaDonna. Check out the LaDonna generated by AI and Kevin in the music video.
It's not against the law, ho. Fuck you. That's the line she dropped. Raw and true. Go eat your dog with some rice. Still burning in your ears, cold as ice. Go eat your dog with some rice. From the gas pump straight to viral.
So that is the correct LaDonna outfit and the very same kind of burgundy wine red Ford SUV that she's driving as well. Mm-hmm. Now, longtime listeners of this show will recall that
this guy's nuts.
Are you familiar with Daryl outside of me?
I've seen him before, and then I knew there was a video where he was harassing you, and I thought it's a weird crossover, but yeah, I know he's generally insane.
So longtime viewers will recall Big Fat Daryl followed me and the former co-host of this show around the Republican National Convention in Cleveland in 2016, accusing us of being white supremacists, telling me he was going to ruin my life. Now, shortly after, in 2017, Daryl had a press conference to unveil what was supposed to be damaging information about James O'Keefe. This was in Washington, D.C., and when revealing the information, Daryl passed his iPad to a reporter from the Daily Caller and accidentally showed them a whole bunch of white chick porn that he had on the iPad. And as one of my greatest career achievements, the Daily Caller coverage of Daryl Lamont Jenkins showing white chick porn to this reporter features a header image courtesy of who? That's right, YouTube screenshot from Matt Christiansen. I'll never forget this moment. Daryl telling me he was going to ruin my life and me recording it with my iPhone. That was like, I don't know when I had iPhone 6 at the time or something.
Where was this recorded?
That was Cleveland. That was Daryl telling me to my face he was going to ruin my life.
He failed.
And he went on to show reporters a bunch of white chick porn a few months later.
Did he just have the tabs open and didn't what's
According to the description here,
so funny.
So it says this reporter was seated across Jenkins when he turned his iPad around and the photo of O'Keefe became a thumbnail in Jenkins' downloads folder, surrounded by dozens of thumbnails of pornographic videos. Daryl said, "What the hell? Most of the thumbnails appeared to be of white women in compromised positions." Jenkins went on to talk about his efforts to beat back racists in American society.
Downloading is a whole level of addiction,
I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway. To bring it back to the music video, Daryl is featured as a cop in this music video, Thought Police, actually, and he is still wondering where the white women at.
He gets too real, viral queen in the making, sealing the deal, no apologies here. She said it loud, she said it proud, no take backs when the cameras allowed.
Okay. Then we have Moldy Locks.
Oh, yeah, Moldy Locks.
Moldy Locks makes a cameo, too. This is Louise Rosialma, the dreadlocked Antifa girl punched in the face by Nathan Domingo in 2017. This was a Proud Boys event in Berkeley. Yep. Antifa showed up to counter-protest. It got violent. Antifa was throwing M80s at the Proud Boys guys. Moldy Locks was accused of throwing bottles and or making Molotov cocktails. There she is. There are pictures of her with a bottle in her hand at the time Nathan Domingo punched her in the face. So Moldy Locks is also in the music video, tightening up her boots and putting on her mask to get excited for Rice and Rage. Here we go.
Jonathan show steps closer, mic out for the truth. Echoes through the timeline, rolling like dice. Seattle streets still hear it. Can't roll the dice twice. Slow down to Richie. Of the vice.
Now, there's also lesbian Subaru cliff diving in that moment as well. A reference to.
Can whoever made this send us the prompt they used? It's got to be hilarious.
Yeah. Anyway, the crazy lesbians who drove off a cliff in Northern California in 2018 and killed their whole family, along with their whole they got 6 adopted black kids, something like that. All right. Then there is a cameo from obese transgender Antifa activist Derry Poppins. John or Mary Delaney is the guy's name. You can see him at various Seattle Antifa actions. He famously chased reporter Jonathan Cho, who's also he also captured that follow-up LaDonna footage where she calls him a faggot and throws rocks at him and all that.
I take it Cho was able to outrun him.
I don't think Derry Poppins caught up to Cho. You're right.
Yeah.
But the Derry Poppins nickname originates from the fact that when he was going after Jonathan Cho, he was trying to chase him out of a homeless encampment, and he had this umbrella because it's rainy Seattle. Thus, Derry Poppins. The nickname was born, but here's the Derry Poppins moment. So, round of applause for Kevin and Burn Bridges Brightly for their collaborative effort to create this masterpiece.
This is why we need to bulldoze affordable housing and put data centers in their place.
We love
better
you.
for society.
You're very special.
Clearly the data centers are worthwhile. Although, who are we going to meme if you don't have the affordable housing?
Yeah.
Now, perhaps you're so impressed that you're wondering, where can I listen to that full song? Where can I watch the full video? Because the AI music is a growing trend in the audience, I have a public folder for it linked in the description. All the songs are in there in full. Kevin L's Rice and Rage music video also in there for your enjoyment if you'd like to check it out. As far as hosting it on my own channel, I thought about that, like even unlisted. It gets a little dicey because there are AI depictions of real people, and that can cause problems. Mm-hmm. So I'm choosing to avoid that, but it is still publicly available for your consumption. All right, into the actual news. Yeah. Now, recall the common gun control talking point that gun grabbers, they only want senseless military-style weapons of war that have no place in civilized society. That's what they want to get rid of. They're not coming for your hunting rifles. They're not coming for your handguns. Well, This Week in Associated Press piece says, the hell with that. We're going all the way. You can't even say grab the musket boy anymore in response to the tyranny, because they've already grabbed your musket if they get their way. They're taking that to they're saying it's time to get serious about the musket loophole.
I think people would be kind of interested to know that when you look at the firearms of the revolution, the flintlock musket or the flintlock rifles, that they are actually technically, in terms of legal standards in the federal government, not legally a firearm. They are classified as an antique. It is actually not nearly as heavily regulated as a modern firearm. And what I mean by that is that today you don't necessarily need a background check for it in most states. It was created to essentially not burden historians, collectors, museums, and other law-abiding gun owners from collecting these significant pieces of history.
It seems silly to put restriction on something that would be such a terrible weapon if you wanted to, kill people. You can kill more people quickly with a car than you can with a musket.
Regulating a weapon like this is regulating like the power of life and death, right? Whoever holds this holds that power.
Fuck around and find out.
Matt, you would probably remember, I swear there was a guy who did a musket mass shooting in recent years, but then I think I confused it with, there was a gun control advocacy organization that did an ad with a guy trying to commit a musket mass shooting.
I know the exact ad you're referring to.
Yeah.
I mean, I will be fair. You could probably kill more people with a musket than like a gangbanger drive-by shooting when you're like that. So
we need the accuracy stats, yeah.
But this might have like a Streisand effect reaction, because I had no idea there was a musket loophole, and I'm in a state with less than 10% gun ownership because of how regulated it is. So I would love to get one now.
New Jersey probably bans muskets too, though. But yeah, you look it up from a federal law perspective. They say the coverage in the Independent, bizarre firearms loophole. You mean what's been the law for the entirety of our lives? Yeah, firearms manufactured before 1898 or replicas of those firearms are considered antiques. They're not legally considered guns from the regulatory background check restriction on transfer perspective. So you actually, it is every American's duty to have a black powder handgun delivered to their door, which you can do. And you can call that a bizarre loophole, but they're super old designs.
You can own one in Jersey.
All right, so you need to get a musket to protect your family.
That's going to be a hilarious way to defend my house.
Yeah, there's that whole meme about that. That whole description where a bunch of scallywags break into your house, so you fire the cannons, and I can't remember. It's a long thing. But once again, they're not stopping with semi-autos and weapons of war, even though muskets are weapons of war too. It just depends on what era. Yeah. They're coming for your muskets. So boy, grab the musket or get a musket mailed to your house while you still can.
Maybe we need to do what you were talking about in your last video, how in the UK you can't, have a knife unless you're a Sikh, in which case a 5-inch blade is fine.
Yeah.
Maybe we need some like religious case for gun ownership.
Without getting into the full details, the religious exemption is so stupid. It's like, well, technically I have a religious reason for carrying a gun. It's because I believe that my life has God-given purpose, and so does my family's. And so does everyone's, by the way. We're not special in that regard. But I have a right, indeed a duty, to defend our lives because of that. But that doesn't count. And instead, like, some Sikh guy can have a knife up to 8 or 9 inches long because his religion counts more.
Yeah. Very odd. Well, it's because his religion is brown coated, so you have to make exceptions for him.
Well,
anyway.
Speaking of gun control, they're trying to pass an assault weapons ban in Minnesota. Without control of the state house, Democrats can't do it. State house Democrats in Minnesota staged a sit-in on Thursday, and I think over the weekend as well, trying to force a vote. Republicans refuse to participate because the bill hasn't made it through committee, and it's not going to make it through committee under Republican leadership. It's kind of split leadership, but the fact of the matter is Democrats can't do it under the current leadership structure. So that prompted this creature, Aisha Gomez, who chairs the tax committee, to scream at Republican colleague Representative Elliot Engin that he should shoot himself with his gun. The video and audio are kind of poor quality, but here was the moment.
Whoa.
That's a huge bitch.
What did he say?
It's very hard to tell what was said in that exchange. She says something. They're saying that she said, "Go fucking shoot yourself." It sounded like, to me, it sounds like "go take a gun to yourself." It's really hard to tell, but this is as confirmed by witnesses and according to Elliot Engin himself, who was there and heard her say it. Now, Republicans are trying to get this this woman Gomez. I think it's a woman, at least. Anyway, this
somewhere.
This person Gomez removed from her position as tax committee chair. Now, it's probably going to be difficult because the House isn't even split in Minnesota: 67 Republicans, 67 Democrats. Republicans hold the speakership because of this leadership deal with Democrats, and that's how she has a committee chairwomanship, chair ham beast ship, whatever she is. I don't know. But yes, this woman did the meme. You saw a lot of this after the Charlie Kirk shooting, too. If you just help us ban the guns, we wouldn't have to shoot you with them. I know she was encouraging him to shoot himself with a gun, but I think it's fair to extend that to if he got shot with a gun, she would offer applause, I think. Yeah. Anyway.
The whole assault weapon ban thing, isn't every weapon an assault weapon? Like if
you commit assault with it,
other love weapons, like what am I missing? I don't understand. Same with hate crimes.
I'm sure a lot of these deviants do have love weapons in their drawers in their bedrooms. But I take your point. Assault is an action, and not every weapon must be used for it. Anyway, Trump is back from China.
Cool.
As of Friday, he returned from this meeting with President Xi. Upon returning, Trump told reporters that the trip was a great success, but he won't tell us what all of those successes are just yet.
All I can say is that was a great success. It was fantastic. We made great deals. We did great trade deals. We have great relationships, and a lot of things have happened, and you'll be hearing about them. But that was a tremendous success. I think it really was a historic moment. Thank you very much.
So, Matt, I'm sure you heard of the giant trade deal that was reached?
Yes, but apparently no details are available.
I'm sure you saw
it's really awesome.
They agreed to help reopen the Strait of Hormuz?
I know it had to do, or it presumably had to do a lot with semiconductors, and then probably oil, them buying oil from Iran and all that. But we need that strait either open or seized.
Yes.
Why not just take it at this point? Like, we have military capabilities. Why not?
Because we don't have the political will, apparently. Yeah. I get. We've talked about this a few times on the Wednesday stream and some other scenarios. But it's not that we can't. Of course, I think it's that with the possibility that we could lose personnel and or like a ship.
Of course,
it would be such a tremendous embarrassment that they've decided it's not worth the risk. So, what we did get though. China agreed to purchase 200 Boeing jets.
Who gives a crap?
Okay, so the last time Trump met with Xi, he pledged to buy, I think it was $14 billion worth of soybeans.
They did that this time too.
You know how much they bought? $2 billion.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if I necessarily buy anything they're saying.
Well, the problem is they were supposed to buy 500 and Boeing stock dropped in response to the news of 200 jets. China says they're going to continue importing U.S. beef, so that sounds like status quo. There's something about soybeans, although we don't have specifics on that. China's going to buy a bunch of soybeans, which has been a big problem with the ongoing trade war. There's maybe some oil and natural gas as well. Now, in exchange, and this is... we don't have specifics. This is all just what Trump is saying after the meeting. But of course, during the meeting, Trump praised Xi as a great leader. And then he goes on Sean Hannity's show afterward and talks about how great it is that we're offering 500,000 student visas and U.S. farmland to Chinese ownership.
Boom. So with there have been times with Trump where his rhetoric and what the administration is doing is contrary, in that the number of foreign college students coming in has gone down a ton.
Good.
He had previously made like pro H-1B visa comments, and yet they're drastically rolling it back. The rhetoric on illegal immigration is we're just going after criminal illegals because that's what's popular, but they're deporting everyone. So
Yeah.
I don't know if he actually means this, or is it he thinks that's the right thing to say at the moment, even as the actual policy is the opposite.
With Sean Hannity, he argued in favor of these 500,000 Chinese students, and part of the commentary is, quote, "But if you want to see a university system die, take 500,000 people out of it." First of all, I do want to see it die.
They all hate you, Trump. What?
And second of all, if we get 500,000 Chinese people out after China's not our friend. Like, they're not, to call them a rival. They are not, they're not friends. We should stop treating them like friends.
Fatalities will drop. So
Yeah. So no, if we take 500,000 Chinese students out, good. If the university system suffers for it because it's built on the premise of Chinese students coming in, good.
Yeah. The whole thing is the universities. We have way more colleges per capita, I think, than any other major country.
It's probably true.
And
yeah.
They need to consolidate. Trump has made a lot of progress in. So far as capping student loans, and that a lot of colleges were just charging what they could get away with, but also reducing demand. I mean, we know how supply and demand works. That would be a good thing, and it would lower tuition. A lot of colleges would not be able to sustain that, and I say awesome. I don't want them to exist, and they can get acquired by other schools. Worst case scenario for them.
The plan trusters are telling me that all this stuff happened behind closed doors. Of course, you didn't see it all because it wouldn't happen in the open during the 2-hour and change meeting with Xi. They wouldn't say it all in the open. All right, I'm sure you probably do discuss more serious, specific matters behind closed doors. However, am I supposed to believe that China secretly agreed to a bunch of pro-U.S. things and U.S. concessions and doesn't want to talk about that? No, I don't think. I don't think that's going to happen. There's no secret plot by China to hand wins to the United States. But I eagerly anticipate being wrong about that. All right. Let's get into some primary stuff. After Indiana, Trump is continuing his primary win streak, though. And we're going to see what happens on Tuesday with Thomas Massie. But yesterday, Bill Cassidy, incumbent Republican senator from Louisiana who voted to convict Trump for during the January 6th impeachment, lost his primary bid for re-election. Now, he actually came in a distant third place.
Yes, 25% I think he got.
Yeah, it was not very close at all. So you have the Trump-endorsed, representative, is she state rep or is she a congresswoman? I don't know. Jula Letlow getting a plurality of the vote at about 45. John Fleming is the state treasurer who's also running. He got 28%. Like you said, Bill Cassidy all the way down at 25. So very poor performance for Cassidy. And I mean, just like Indiana, Trump is successfully putting up challenger candidates to his Republican adversaries in the primary setting and winning. So what's going to happen to old Thomas Massie from Kentucky, who Go ahead, sorry.
So with Cassidy, I think it should be noted, this was the first time in 14 years that a senator has lost their seat in a primary. And, and when that has happened in the past, it was nowhere near, a blowout where the incumbent only got 25% of the vote. So, yeah, it's very significant. And then you referenced Indiana, and that was the Republicans who refused to redistrict. Those that were up for re-election, all but one ended up losing. And I feel like I have one more talking point. Yes. Of the 16 Republicans in the House and Senate that had voted to convict Trump, 12 are out of office and/or are Cassidy. He's got primaried. The only ones that remain, it's Collins and Murkowski, and then there's 2 others in the House I'm drawing a blank on. But it's 12 out of 16 are gone.
Yeah.
So
well, Thomas Massie, if anyone could buck the trend, I think it would be Thomas Massie, but we're going to find out. Now, of course, Massie has opposed Trump on many things: government spending, the Epstein files, the war, and our alliance with Israel, more things. But this primary is now the most expensive House primary in U.S. history. The pro-Israel lobby has dumped millions in opposition to Massie and in support of his Republican challenger. That's Trump-endorsed retired Navy SEAL Ed Galrine. It's over $32 million in total ad spending. And this morning on ABC, Thomas Massie said this race is a referendum on whether the Israeli lobby can buy House seats.
How did this race become the most expensive race in the history of Congress for a primary? It's because 3 billionaires from outside of Kentucky have funneled millions of dollars in here. They're trying to buy a seat. And so it's not just the president's tweets. I could sustain those without a problem. It's because Miriam Adelson and Paul Singer have dumped money in here. In fact, Miriam Adelson has given so much money to my opponent that instead of paying for the ballroom, they're going to need taxpayer money for the ballroom now.
Well, you see, and you've actually said this week that your vote is a referendum on whether Israel gets to buy seats in Congress. What did you mean by that?
Well, the RJC, AIPAC, and Miriam Adelson and Paul Singer, they're all part of the Israeli lobby, and that's where all the money comes from. And it will be a referendum on foreign policy, whether Israel gets to dictate that by bullying members of Congress. And I'm the one they haven't been able to bully, so they're putting all the brunt and the force on me.
So on Polymarket, Ed Galrine has gained a slight edge in the odds. It's actually increased quite a bit today. Earlier today, it was 54. Ed Galrine at 50, earlier. Yeah, 54 to 47. It's shifted some 5% just today. Ed Galrine on Polymarket currently 59% to Massie's 42. And polling throughout May shows about the same. Galrine in a couple polls +7, +8. Massie in a recent poll +2. So a close race. But Galrine now favored. And whether it's the lobbying, the Israeli lobbying ads, or the dislike of Massie working with Democrats on the Epstein files, whatever the factor is, those Polymarket odds have shifted significantly just this month. You go back to the start of May here, and Massie was at like an 80% likelihood, 80% odds of winning that primary, according to Polymarket. And his odds have been cut in about half since then. Now, as far as my own thoughts, Thomas Massie has made foolish friends at times. He's endorsed by Ro Khanna now, and he's worked with Democrats on the Epstein stuff. You could call that principled, in favor of releasing the Epstein files. Of course, I'm generally in favor of that too. My problem with Massie on that one issue is that, like Democrats, he was silent throughout the Biden administration about that. However, even if he foolishly makes friends with Democrats at times and is annoying for that reason occasionally, would I take an entire house full of Thomas Massies? Yes. Would I prefer Thomas Massies to generic Republicans? Yes, I think our country would be better for it, more financially responsible, more power left to the states and out of the federal government's hands, less foreign entanglement, less foreign spending. Massie can be annoying sometimes. I get that. But if annoying was the biggest problem in Congress, we would have a much better country. So I hope Massie is successful. I hope he stays in Congress. And I would prefer that we focus our fighting energy on people who are much more clearly enemies of the priorities of the American people.
I mean, I'm torn in that it is a test of Trump's political power and control over the party. And I think, I like Trumpism. I think he has reshaped the GOP for the better. So, almost just for the sake of a show of force, I'm hoping Massie loses. But I am uncomfortable, though, if it is Israeli money that causes him to lose. I mean, it was bizarre that Stephanopoulos was pretending to not know what he means when he says that Israel can influence our elections. Like, look at AIPAC gives to, I think it's 2/3 of Congress at least. And I heard Massie say in an interview that when you join Congress, you are basically assigned an AIPAC handler. That is, if that's accurate, that is not normal. I'm glad he exposed that. And in recent races that come to mind, like with Jamal Bowman, who got primaried because of his Israel stance, he got blown out by 20 plus points. So yeah, they can influence our elections, and I don't know. I'm just torn in that I don't want it to be that money that's causing it, because the new guy is going to be beholden to that.
In the case of Jamal Bowman, I would like to blame some sophisticated Israeli scheme. However, I've heard Jamal Bowman talk, and so I'm going to chalk that up to him being actually retarded. Now, if Massie loses, you'll have to question, okay, was this like the Trump power exercise that we saw in Indiana and with Cassidy, or was this the pro-Israel lobby, or was it a combination of the two of them, or are they one and the same thing? Mm-hmm. You could say that they work together, they're not really separable in that way. It's going to be an interesting diagnosis if Massie is ousted come Tuesday. I know the odds are saying that he will be. I'm still going to be surprised if he is. I don't know much about Ed Galrine. I don't know. I think Massie might pull it off, but I'm wrong about everything in predictions. So that means Thomas Massie is done.
All right, I'll go bet on him then, or on the other guy. I mean,
yeah, that is financial advice. All right,
but the only bet I placed recently, I bet on Spencer Pratt at 20% odds.
Is that all he has?
I think he's 25% now. I bet. I think right after the debate, I thought he might have a chance.
Is he running as an independent, or what is his party status?
I think the primary, at least the ballots I've seen, I don't think list party. I think it's a nonpartisan primary.
Oh, the whole thing is.
But I think he is a Republican.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I thought his odds would be better because he's got a lot of internet energy behind him, but maybe that doesn't matter. It just matters who controls politics in LA.
That Indian woman was the favorite, and then she opened her mouth at the debate and is now third.
I didn't even watch the debate. Who's the Indian
It's very
woman?
good.
I didn't even see her. I haven't seen...
she's a member of the LA City Council, and it is insane. Like, she was asked once about... keeping like drug addicts away from schools, and didn't seem to think it was a problem worth addressing.
She's in favor of drug addicts, designated drug addict at every school, I assume.
Yeah.
The LA way. Okay, Trump is also reportedly considering settling his lawsuit against the IRS to create a so-called weaponization fund, and this would compensate people politically targeted by Biden, including some 1,600 January 6 defendants. Now, recall Trump's tax returns or portions of or data from, I can't remember the nature of the leak, but back in 2019, 2020, there was an IRS contractor who leaked some of the stuff from Trump's tax returns, pleaded guilty on criminal charges. Trump's civil lawsuit seeks damages for the IRS's failure to stop the contractor from doing that leak. Now, Trump was asking for $10 billion in damages. You can ask for whatever you want in damages. He's now reportedly looking to settle for $1.7 billion, and this is going to become very legally and ethically dicey. Yeah. Because the issue with the lawsuit is Trump is both the victim party, the guy whose tax returns were leaked, but also the responsible or paying party. The IRS is part of the executive branch under his leadership. And I heard Congressman Jamie Raskin, Democrat, this morning, arguing that the fund itself will be unconstitutional because the money has never been appropriated by Congress for this reason. But the problem with that argument is these are lawsuit damages if successful. So the person receiving the damages can really do whatever they want, including pay that money to whoever they want. So it's calling it strictly a matter of congressional appropriation, I don't think is correct. The other factor is it's very difficult for the average person to sue the government for these sorts of damages. And there were people legitimately abused by Biden and the Biden administration. Of course, we're talking about the January 6th defendants here. There were abortion protesters who were targeted under the FACE Act for ridiculous reasons. People banned on social media at Biden's guidance, which they described themselves. People forced to take the vaccine, of course, under what was later determined to be an unconstitutional OSHA action. And the list goes on. So the other side of this is I think there are people who legitimately should be entitled to compensation or damages from the Biden administration who aren't really in position to sue because establishing standing is very difficult for them. So this is going to be a giant legal mess if they decide to go this route. I'm guessing the legal question comes down to the president awarding damages to himself. Like in his role as president, he is awarding damages to himself in a personal role, like a taxpayer. I don't think it's going to be an issue of congressional appropriation. Raskin said Congress plans to vote to block this funding, but I don't even know if they can do that. Like, how do you block funding for a settlement that is reached among disputing parties in court? How does Congress have that power?
It's kind of weird that you and I are going to pay Trump's legal settlement if this goes
yes,
through.
and that's the other thing is it will be tax. I mean,
even if you like pays more in tax than us, but still,
But even if you like the idea of compensating people who are damaged by Biden, and like I said, I think there are plenty of people who were legitimately targeted, legitimately damaged by Biden, putting the taxpayer on the hook, which is, at least according to this reporting, what this deal would do. It's not like Joe Biden's cutting a check. Joe Biden doesn't give a shit. The taxpayer does. So it's a mess. This is a very strange situation. Now, as discussed and expected last week, the U.S. Supreme Court officially responded to Virginia Democrats' request to challenge the state Supreme Court ruling that invalidated their new gerrymandering scheme down in Virginia.
Get the hell out of here.
Released on Friday, it was a brief decision with no dissents. Not even Jumanji Brown Jackson could come up with one, which is correct. There is no federal law at issue in this case. The issue is the process of amending the state constitution under Virginia law, under the Virginia Constitution. There's no federal issue. So Governor Abigail Spanberger has conceded that there will be no new congressional map for Virginia in these 2026 midterm elections. The districts will remain the same, at least for now. They might still try that insane, like pack the court strategy, kick everyone off the court, but that's not going to help them for this fall. So they lose.
As we predicted. I mean, it's the easiest prediction we ever made, but I think last episode we predicted it.
There's no way the Supreme Court was ever going to take that. They do it to check the box. That's all. Now, it was an emotional moment on Chris Cuomo's show this week for Tennessee Congressman Steve Cohen.
This is awesome.
Tennessee's only Democrat in Congress. Now he's outgoing because his district in Memphis was officially redrawn after the Supreme Court ruling on the Voting Rights Act. So Steve Cohen goes on Chris Cuomo's show to cry about how sad he is that he cares so much about black people and Republicans do not.
You know, it's funny. My press conference today is the most cameras I think I've had since the Victoria incident. And here we are again. And I got tears.
Well, and that too, Steve. But you're crying for the right reason in both cases. You were crying about Victoria, and people can look that up and remind themselves, because you didn't want to see her hurt. And you're crying now, again, not for Steve Cohen. You're crying because you know what your service meant to that community. False. And that they needed it, especially in that state. And it was taken. And it was unfair, just like what happened with Victoria. And that's always been what you've been about. I don't care what party you're in. You know how I feel about the parties. Your heart is about helping. And I know that about you. And that's why you get emotional, even though you're a tough son of a bitch. So I'm glad that people get to see it. And I'm here for you. All right? Thank you for your service.
I've got a great district, wonderful people. They've supported me so well. You know, it's an amazing thing that African-American community supported me for 20 years like they did. And the Republicans don't see it, and they just tear it apart because they have no perspective of caring about African-Americans or caring about people getting together and anything nice that happens. It's a tough sport, and they play it tough.
I'm glad he's
dead.
Homo? Can I say that? Is that
I didn't know they were
H slur?
I just didn't know there were allegations that he's gay. All right. Fair
Well,
enough.
he was a very gay cry.
Okay. Yeah.
No,
yeah,
not like there's anything wrong with that. Of course.
Now, I was curious, how exactly have the lives of Memphis black people improved because of Steve Cohen over the last 20 years? It is America's worst city for violent crime per capita. Second worst for property crime behind Oakland. But I guess credit to Steve. Actually, it's credit to some federal government intervention, I think. They only had... I don't know. They only had like 200 homicides last year.
Oh, good.
The lowest. They had nearly 400 in 2023, so they've cut it in half. But previously, under Steve Cohen's leadership, it's like a person a day gets murdered in a city of 500,000 people. He did it all for the black people and not for Steve Cohen, who, of course, has become much more wealthy over his 20 years. He went in with something like... what was it, like $2 million in net worth, or $2.5 million? He's up 400%. He's up to about $10 million. He's not at Pelosi levels, but he's done well for himself. And when he talks about not caring about people in his state, oh, they're just taking away their vote. Again, look at the entire New England region. For all the sob story about black people in Tennessee, there are lots of conservative voters in that region who have zero representation. And that was deemed acceptable by Democrats for the entirety of his tenure in Congress. Now it's reason to cry.
Yeah. Of the New England map, I think the only exception is Massachusetts. There's one of them, I think, is Massachusetts, where it's not actually possible to have a Republican district. But the overall point stands that yes, they should have more representation, and we gotta do the same. And,
not even in Western Massachusetts.
Or you know what? Maybe there was one where you could only draw one, but it was like +2 Republican or something. But
maybe that is the one. Like, it's possible, but not guaranteed.
The overall point stands. It was funny when he was acting amazed that the black community, as he calls them, supported him.
Yeah.
They supported him because he has a D next to his name.
Yes.
Like Henry Truman was in the KKK when he was a kid. He ran for president as a Democrat. He got 75% of the black vote. So like you just need the D. That's it. You're just in no matter what.
Well, careful how you say you need the D, but yes, point taken.
You need to be a member of the Democratic Party. That's getting clipped.
Yeah. Speaking of homos.
Let's go on.
Steve Cohen needs the D. That's all.
Yes. Well, it is. He needed the D.
Yeah.
Needed. Past tense.
Well, he'll have plenty of time for D wherever he's going now,
Yes,
because he's out. He'll be out this time next year. All right, you're going to catch me up on the Chud the Builder shooting that happened. Speaking of Tennessee, this is what, Clarksville, somewhere in Tennessee?
Yeah,
I don't know where that is.
Montgomery County.
Okay.
In researching the story, apparently there's like 5,000 different Montgomery counties. Every state has one. I don't know why, but anyway. This guy, so this is Chud the Builder. Just to anyone who doesn't know who he is, his name is Dalton Etherly. He does, I mean, I would say it's fair to call rage baiting content. He is a streamer, sort of a menace streamer to some extent. I haven't
followed his content. So what is that? He just like is rude to people? What does that mean?
He's racially provocative. He uses the N-word to kind of provoke a response. And listen, I totally support his free speech. You can do something that is your right to do so and also be in the wrong. Like it's legal to walk up to a 5-year-old and tell them their parents don't love you. That is protected speech, but it's not something I would encourage anyone to do. But but preference anything negative I say about him, I do not support the charges against him. I support his right to self-defense, free speech, all that. But anyway, he, back in 2024 to 2025, that time, he had a road rage experience with a black woman whose daughter claimed that he called them the N-word. There was a lot of local backlash. He lost his job. And that, he says, is what sort of led him on this route. So he's had a number of problems that led up to his current predicament, which involved him shooting someone in what I think looks like clear self-defense.
We don't have video of the shooting, right? Just the
aftermath.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was charged with harassment in November 2025. He was arrested on May 11th for refusing to pay for a meal, and he was out on a $5,000 bond then. Now, on the day of the shooting, he was set to appear in a Montgomery County court over an alleged $3,000 debt to a credit card company.
Okay. So he wasn't actually He wasn't doing video content at the time. He was
None
doing
at the
some
time.
kind of court proceeding that he was a party to. Okay.
Yes. So that's when this guy named Joshua Fox, and from every account I see, Fox punched Chud, and then Chud pulled out a gun, fired, and accidentally shot himself in the arm in the process. And I realized in this chain of events, so, Chud does what, he makes, I guess let's just say racist content against black people. But let's review the facts here. I looked in his background. He has children out of wedlock. He uses the N-word a lot. He starts pointless confrontations, doesn't have a job.
Yeah.
Dines and dashes. Like, if this guy doesn't know how to swim, he is himself
what is his watermelon?
He is
opinion?
himself a black man.
Okay.
But I gave you in the notes, if you want to bring up the guy who attacked him, his criminal record is completely insane. It is, so that's one thing. He got booked on a charge. I think that was for harassment. He comments on the photo, and I'll do it again. If you scroll down,
I think that's a quote from a segment later tonight. I'll do it again.
If you scroll down, I think there's like 24 other charges, and a lot of them are pretty serious charges.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, on the bottom.
right here. Okay.
So that's the attacker's criminal record. So,
Let's
not
see
a
if I
great
can get
guy.
this up a little bigger. I mean, what are we talking about here? These are
So we have
DUI,
harassment, contempt of court,
domestic
restraining
assault.
order.
There is seatbelt and stuff on here. Aggravated domestic assault. So some of these are violent and serious crimes. Yeah.
So Chud has been charged with attempted murder, employing a firearm during a dangerous felony, aggravated assault, and reckless endangerment, and got a bond at $1.25 million. Now, a lot of people thought this is kind of crazy, $1.25 million. Carmelo Anthony, who allegedly, killed someone in a stabbing last year, got $250,000. So
he definitely killed him. This just was it self-defense.
Yeah, I know. I just have to legally say, that. So, I would just point out to anyone that when you are, trying to see if something is fair in the context of the court system, you want the variables to be as consistent as possible. So, there's a different state, different jurisdiction. So I don't think you can really do an apples to apples comparison. That being said, someone went through 10,000 cases in this court system and calculated the average bonds for various crimes. So Chud, as you can see on the bottom there, he has his 1.25 million is what Chud got. The median murder suspect's bond in that court was $325,000.
Wow.
The average for murder is $348,000, about the same.
Yeah.
For attempted murder, it's $252,000.
Yeah.
For intent to rape and murder, it was $100,000. So he got 12 plus times that. So I think
does he have a criminal record? Now, I'm sure these murderer suspects do also, but is there some kind of history with Chud?
So that was my first thought when people were comparing to Carmelo Anthony. I thought, well, to be fair, he was already out on bond, so he's violating bond. But yes, I mean, if you're, most murderers in this country have a rap sheet that is, the length of the CVS receipt. So
the likelihood that these 16 guys cited in the average and median here are totally clean.
Yeah, that's the first thing. It's very low.
I'm sure is not true.
So I made a list of things in his favor and against. In his favor, so in Tennessee, you need. Some people were worried that this is the tweet. Good, that there might be like a fighting words exemption that. Because Chud, if you use the N-word, that could then justify him getting punched first or whatever. According to this guy, that does not count in this case, which is good. I also looked at the county. It's only 40% Democrat, almost 60% voted for Trump in the last election, and it's 20% black. So it is likely you get someone on the jury that would not vote to convict. I had actually a bunch of stats I sent to you on jury bias and in-group bias, but I think it might kind of be redundant to go through just in the light of the fact that it might not apply here. But the sort of TLDR, and okay, actually, I'll read that one from Touré. Touré was, there was a case a number of years ago where someone called the black guy, I think in a Dunkin' Donuts, the N-word. The black guy punches him in the face. The guy gets knocked out, hits his head, and dies. Touré, he was formerly, I think, an MSNBC contributor. He defended it. and then asked his followers, do you think the black guy should get off? And 71% said yes. Now, I get it's not a scientific poll, but if it was, I actually think it would be more, because white people obviously could answer this poll as well. Now, to, I guess, conclude the segment, while I do think that Chud acted in self-defense, I don't encourage his behavior or support it, but I don't think he should be facing charges, especially because, it's really, and I'm going kind of anecdotally here, but it seems like most of the recent criminal justice system cases are biased against white people, and I just don't want to continue that trend. But I sent you a video from the Boondocks, which I think shows how he should have behaved. So if you want to just play that to close the segment.
Watch where you walking, bitch. What did you... Wait a minute. I'm white. Where you going? Don't you ignore me. This is a perfectly good moment to throw your life away.
Okay. Probably would have been wiser to behave.
That's
that
how
way.
I try to behave. Yeah. But
I have a couple thoughts. First of all, what is this dead chimp commentary? Because that's probably going to be relevant.
Sorry, that was in my notes for things that would definitely count against him. And that, listen, we have to remember that the jury system, a lot of the law comes down to people's feelings. And like there is countless studies that if you have an attractive defendant, they're more likely to get off. The way they dress themselves can affect.
Looks pretty
their
attractive
likelihood
to me.
get off.
Look at that mustache of his. Where is it?
So that'll work in his favor. But no, listen, like even if it was a legit self-defense case, if you had an all-black jury, which he's not going to, but if you did, and you play 10 hours of clips of him calling black people the N-word, even if they personally, in their heart, completely believe it's legit self-defense, there is still a good chance they're going to say, F this guy, I want him in jail, I hate these people. So, not great for him.
The other thoughts, and I'm shooting from the hip here, not a lawyer, not familiar with Tennessee law. I wanted to read what the law says because I don't know who this person is, and it's just a characterization of provocation under Tennessee self-defense law. Yeah. Tennessee self-defense law says the use of the threat or use of force against another is not justified if the person using force provoked the other individual's use or attempted use of force, with some exceptions that don't apply here based on what I'm reading. But it's going to come down to the question of what is provocation. Do we know for sure that there's no such thing as verbal provocation in the Tennessee legal system? Because if there is, and he said things, this is not me saying that it justifies someone attacking you, but I'm trying to understand how the law will treat this. If it is the case that you can reasonably provoke a person to violence, and he did that, his self-defense claim is going to suffer.
Well, then he's screwed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
a Tennessee lawyer could tell me what counts as provocation under Tennessee law.
Yeah. He has another bond hearing this week. I think on the what's today? It's the 21st, I think it's on. So
just so I understand the sequence of events, because I'm not totally clear. I want to make sure I understand it. Chud is at the courthouse.
Yes.
For some kind of hearing.
Yeah, he didn't pay a credit card bill.
And the black dude who he ends up punching him. Do we know what Chud said to that guy?
That is unclear. What the exact altercation was, but I'm assuming it was something very similar to all of his videos.
And do we have any knowledge that the guy who punched him knew who he was?
So I had seen that kind of alleged or hinted at as a strong possibility, but I could not find concrete proof. But I also had that thought as well, that it could have been someone targeting him.
It's going to depend on who is the provoker here. Yeah. And based on and if someone in the chat can correct me or tell me, let me know, because I want to make sure I get this right. Who initiated the aggression or who instigated there? I'm not sure we have clearly established, do we? Unless I'm missing it.
No, we don't.
Okay.
So I'm going to pay attention to the next bail hearing to see what they tried out there, but we don't have video of it. So it seems like he was not streaming at the time.
Yeah.
Hence the fact the only video we have is him getting arrested.
But we do know that the punch came before the shots.
Yes.
And generally speaking, someone attacking you with fists, I guess probably not in every jurisdiction, but that is use of force. Put you in reasonable fear of serious bodily injury or even death. So I don't dispute the use of a firearm in defense of oneself in response to a punching attack. I think legally it's going to come down to, did Chud say something that provoked the punching attack? Because that's going to undo potentially his self-defense claim. We just don't know.
My problem with the whole, fighting words provocation argument is what is going to be considered fighting words. We know 100% of the time the N-word is going to be considered that. If someone calls me effing a-hole, does that also count? Can I punch them then? Where are we drawing the line here?
That's why the whole fighting words doctrine has become unclear and kind of chipped away at with the Supreme Court. It depends on what Tennessee law has to say about that. Usually it's the common understanding and definition is words that would prompt a reasonable person to violence, which to me is maybe not a pure contradiction. If someone came up to me and said, I'm going to kill your whole family right now, I would probably intervene. But if someone comes up to me and says, you're an asshole, you're a douchebag, you're a faggot, I'm going to be like, you're a dick. But I don't think that as a reasonable person, I have a right to respond violently to them.
Yeah.
With lethal force, at least. Maybe you settle it with maybe it's mutual combat. You settle
that
it
would be
gentlemen.
Ideal. Yeah. Boundaries, rules, all that.
So it sounds like we need to get an understanding of how this is going to play out. You got to know exactly what that sequence is of what happened immediately prior to the punch is the question, it sounds like.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I just could not find that. I don't think it's available ahead of the show, but I'll do an update if anyone actually cares.
Well, right at the top of the hour, perfectly timed. Thank you for your contribution. Anything else you want to say before we move on about Chud the Builder?
Smash the like button and subscribe.
Thank you.
No
All right,
problem.
we're going to get to Super Chat in a moment, then we'll get to our first guest segment. But hey, before we do, have you considered joining the MC Club? Well, you should. Here's why. Hey, if you enjoy the show, please consider supporting the show by becoming a member of the MC Club. For as little as $1 a month, you will enjoy a series of exclusive perks, including ad-free videos and podcasts, video calls, and a community Discord server with me and other listeners, loot box giveaways with channel merchandise, your name in the credit roll after videos and streams, and much more. But most importantly, you will help keep the duct tape production alive and independent from all those sinister forces of control. Join the MC Club at mattchristiansenmedia.com/support. Linked in the description. All right, into the super chat. Our friend Joshy Boy says, Matt and Matt hitting us with nostalgia. I feel old. Well, black don't crack. That's good news for you. You'll never look old, Joshy. Don't worry about it. Joshy Boy says, just as the founding fathers intended is the meme you're looking for, Massie. That's the one about the scallywag breaking into your fortress in the middle of the night, and you prepare the cannons and the muskets and all that. Yeah. Thanks, Joshy. Toric Roma, I don't trust politicians. I definitely don't trust Massie or Marjorie Taylor Greene. To be honest, anyone Tucker Carlson likes, I'm suspicious of immediately. Tucker is, he's had some weird takes for sure. With Massie, why do I like my appreciation of Massie is more than Marjorie Taylor Greene, but they both fall into this box of if everyone voted the way that they did, our country would be better for it. And fundamentally, that's what I care about the most. The rest of the antics, Marjorie Taylor Greene has been very silly since leaving Congress, and I definitely have questions about the way that she left Congress and collecting the retirement and all that. And Thomas Massie, I think, has made unwise alliances in Congress in pursuit of some things. But fundamentally, if everybody voted like Thomas Massie did, hey, that's much closer to the country that I want to see. So, what's my alternative? Establishment Republicans that Tucker Carlson hates, that say things on the campaign trail that they don't actually follow through on. They talk about how much they hate spending and they vote to continue spending at status quo. They talk about ending wars and they support, at least passively, starting new wars. Or not wars, depending on who you ask. I have found Massie to be slightly irritating at points in the last year, but that's about it. I don't want him gone and someone who's much worse on the issues I care about replacing him, who is there for the sole reason that he's a Trump loyalist. And like you, I've not enjoyed the recent performance of Donald Trump. I hope it turns around, but I still generally like the guy, and I generally support him, and I don't regret my vote, and I think the alternative was unacceptable. Yeah. But I don't like the demand of absolute loyalty. Well, like, why can't we work with Thomas Massie a little bit? Why can't we assume Thomas Massie has good intentions and see if there's an opportunity to collaborate or cooperate?
I'm in the cult. I can't answer that.
All right, fine.
Yeah, sorry.
We'll see. Get Thomas Massie on the show. He can come defend his honor. He's free after Tuesday anyway. He's got nothing going on.
We had him, look at Crenshaw, look at everyone who's been married.
Thank you, Torek. PK, hey Matt, MC Club member here. Thank you. Appreciate that. Taking an impromptu trip to Montana this weekend. If you and your wife, if you wanted your wife rather, to relax by some water but wanted some adventure with your son, with all with good food available, where would you go? Well, it's a big state, so I'll tell you what. Why don't you email me and tell me where you're like what part of the state you're going to, and perhaps I could have recommendations. The good news is there's a lot of water in this state. There's a lot of rivers. There are some very large lakes. If you're going up to Flathead Lake, that's great. That's great lake life. If you're staying in my neck of the woods in southwest Montana, or even over toward Billings, there's a lot of good river stuff. So I just need to know where you are. It's hard. I can't give advice if it's just Montana generally, because it takes like 12 hours to drive across this state. So I don't know. I don't know where you're going to be. Email me and I'll give you some tips. And have a great trip. And thanks for supporting the show. Appreciate it. Long Dong John. Matt and I once had drinks at a bar. He gave me an address so we could make love later. But when I got there and knocked on the door, Palumbo opened it and said, "Who the fuck are you?" What the hell, Matt?
It's the time we got caught.
That's a big game, man.
I don't know if Palumbo's been looped into that kind of joke, but I'll allow it.
Got to start somewhere.
Torek Roma also says, I don't think Chud can properly claim self-defense as he has a history of FA. What is FA in this situation?
Effing around.
Or effing around? I thought it was felony assault, maybe. Does he have that?
Oh, actually, in this case, it might be that. Yeah, maybe.
It's only time for him to do something like this. So Chud is going through the FAFO of his own decision-making.
Fuck around and find out.
Okay, so maybe it is FAFO then, not the... assault.
I see. Yeah, so it is the fuck around. He's done the fucking around, and now he's finding out.
Yeah, because I don't believe he has an assault record or anything like that.
That would be.
I didn't see any.
I assume your highly regarded research would have caught that if you
mildly regarded.
Yeah, so you're probably right. It is the fucking around. Yeah, I'll just have to get clarity on what the sequence of events was, because even though I don't like being a dick to people for the sake of being a dick. However, that doesn't mean that people get to attack you physically. It doesn't mean you surrender your right to self-defense just because you were being a dick either. So we have to see what kind of dickery was involved here.
Yeah, you respond to words with words. Like it's, you're evenly matched.
Those were the days. Festonia, just supporting the show. Well, thank you.
I am not going to be niggardly.
Very much appreciate you keeping the duct tape in operation. Thank you for that. Over on Rumble, Dark Minstrel, since I know Matt is going to dance around saying chimp out tonight, I'd like to offer the Oranga Tantrum as an alternative. Oranga Tantrum.
Bingo. It's good. It's really good.
I feel like I owe you your super chat back as a royalty for writing that joke.
Phenomenal.
I'm going to remember Oranga Tantrum. It's much more thoughtful. Appreciate it. Thank you for that. Newbie of Death, if you read this...
You are gay, LMAO.
Thank you, Newbie, as always. Yakko, 1977. I'm glad Cassidy got voted out in the primary. I tried to primary out one of my senators here in Nebraska, but no luck. I won't vote for a commie in the general, but I wanted a better GOP option. Yeah, was Cassidy even on your radar? I had no idea there was a move to... I didn't even hear about this.
I caught wind 2 days prior.
Okay.
I don't know how I missed. There's so many random elections going on right now that they're hard to keep track of.
Well, Trump had been pushed. I didn't. That was not a thing I was expecting at all. So that news came out of nowhere for me.
Yeah, he was asked on some Fox show, like, knowing what you know now, would you still have voted to impeach Trump? And he wouldn't answer the question. So, I don't know.
It's hard to say yes based on the facts of the impeachment alone. Mm-hmm. But when you cost your own political career by doing it, I mean, how do you? That's why he didn't say I would do it again. That's why he didn't say that.
And he was like, and I just think what's important here is people go to the polls and let their voice be heard. And then he was out hours later.
Yeah, and it wasn't close.
Nope.
Atom bombs. The left will argue without a hint of self-awareness that you can't bring a gun to a fist fight, but you can bring a fist to a word fight.
Bingo.
Yeah. Well, there's a select few, possibly only one word, like you said, that if uttered, not only justifies violence, justifies straight up
murder.
I would say murder, but it's not murder. It's the death penalty in their eyes.
Yep.
Haughty Twerkman, Kyla T had a dishonest appearance on Whatever long ago. This is Kyla Turner. Unlike most Whatever guests, her cleavage was covered, so viewers couldn't tell if she's a canon queen or just a stuffed shirt.
I have no idea who that is.
Kyla is a friend of the show who's a left-wing personality, and I don't know her Whatever appearance.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about. Yes.
But she's been on a few times to offer the perspective of the other side. And I have found her to be good faith, and I have found her to be friendly, and so we've been willing to work together, although most of the time I just piss people off because they don't want to hear what she has to say. And all right, that's fine. They don't have to like what she has to say. So it's been a while since Kyla has been on. I don't think she's been on since October, November, sometime in there. But I do know that she's always appearing on stuff. I think she was in... I gotta go look, because last time I talked to her, she said she was going to be on there was some kind of Jubilee. They have that like a million people versus one.
That's the worst debate format ever invented.
She was going to do something with the abortion debate.
It's
and I don't
be
know who it was
unwatchable.
against, but it's out there somewhere. I haven't seen it yet. Thank you for the update, Haughty Twerkman. Appreciate that. And thanks for supporting the show. Just a couple more. We'll get into the interview segment here with our Camp of Saints publisher friend, Ethan Rundell. K-Dog Mulligan, as Michael Jackson once said, tee-hee-hee. I don't know what that's a reference to, but he did indeed say that.
Oh, I thought you didn't get what the tee-hee-hee
No,
was.
I do get that. I just don't know how it applies to the content of tonight's show, other than we had the don't stop till you get enough intro.
Could. Or maybe he says something. You said something funny, and he's tee-heeing in response to that.
I should do a better Michael Jackson tee-hee-hee delivery, but I can't get my voice up that high. I'm not going to try it.
I still got to see the movie.
Yeah. Is it what, a documentary? No, it's like
a
biopic or whatever they're called, right?
Yeah. I found a torrent if you want to watch it. Anyway.
No, I don't want to be a pirating
Dude, it's
person.
It's like what, $30 for a movie ticket nowadays? It's like 20. It's not
Well,
30,
that's the
but
thing. If you want,
it's insanely expensive.
And if you want
the
to
right thing.
rent the new releases, the last one I did was that awful Jurassic Park movie that came out last year. But it's like Star Wars for a lot of people, and I'm captured by that a little bit too. I don't care what it is. You can put Jurassic Park on the biggest piece of crap ever made. I'm still going to go see it. And I'm going to complain about it. And I did that last summer, and even renting it as a new release was still like $25.
To quote Jurassic Park, it was one big pile of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Jurassic Park, like life in the movie, finds a way. And it does. It always finds a way to steal my money.
Nice.
Thank you, K-Dog. Polaris 9009 will have to catch the replay. Just wanted to send some support. Well, thank you for that.
We love you. You're very special.
Okay. We're going to leave Superchat there.
I'll have to just circle back with you.
And we are going to get into our first guest segment for the night. And that is
this guy
is Ethan Rundell, the publisher of the book, The Camp of the Saints, a novel some consider prophetic about the migrant takeover of Europe. It was briefly banned on Amazon last month after Amazon deemed it offensive content. Ethan explains it all, the book, the controversy, the Streisand effect sales that have happened since. Segment's about 21 minutes. We'll see you on the other side.
Stand back and stand by.
Welcome back. My guest tonight is Ethan Rundell, editor-in-chief at Vauban Books, the publisher of the controversial novel The Camp of the Saints, which recently surged in popularity and was briefly removed from Amazon. Ethan, thank you for making time.
Thank you.
So I am totally new to this book, The Camp of the Saints. I've never read a word of it, never heard of it before this story, actually. So can you give me and our listeners a summary of what this book is about and why it's supposedly controversial?
Sure. The first part is easy. So the plot of the book is very straightforward. It's the story of, it begins in India on the caves of the Ganges, where a very large crowd of people has begun to gather, expecting to receive something like asylum in Belgium and other European countries. And the local authorities and the European authorities on site don't know what to do with this. Eventually, in one way or another, they're overwhelmed, and a fleet departs from India headed for, people suspect, Europe. Most of the book is about not the fleet itself, not what happens on the fleet, which has 1 million migrants aboard, 100 ships, 1 million people, but what happens in Europe in anticipation of the fleet's arrival. And so the book is really a dramatization of, as it were, European impotence and incapacity, on the one hand, faced with what we now today know as mass immigration, a phenomenon that wasn't known to the same extent at the time that Ralph Spy wrote the book. The book was first published in 1973, but more profoundly, it's a sort of a parable of Western self-hatred, Western delusion, and the Western loss of any capacity for self-preservation. The fleet is simply in the story a device for drawing those themes out. However, the book is controversial. It has been since it was first published, and partly is controversial because it's generally been subjected to the most literal reading possible. And on the most literal, unimaginative reading possible, it's a book about scary migrants and the things that scary migrants will do. And people who do not like migration to be portrayed as anything but overwhelmingly positive take exception to that. Opportunistically or honestly, I'm not sure. Sometimes I think that representations of the book are really just that, opportunistic, opportunities to denounce people who like the book, who find the book interesting. Yeah, that's the source of the controversy, essentially. I could go into more detail about that, but how it's played out in the United States, for instance, but that perhaps is a separate question.
Sure, yeah, and we can get into some more of those plot points and more of the story as well as we discuss. But you are not only the publisher, but you are the translator of this work, which is originally in French, right?
That's right.
So when did you do this translation? When did you first publish this translation? How long has it been on the market?
So our edition of the book was released on September 16th of last year. So that would be, it's what, 8 months now.
Okay, so it's not fresh. It didn't come out yesterday. It was on the market for some time.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
It's been on the market for a time. Yes, I translated the book. It took me, I began my work on the translation in December of 2024, and I finished work on the translation, I believe, in July of last year.
And then at some point, the book surges in popularity. A lot of people are buying it on Amazon and elsewhere, I gather. What caused that surge in popularity? Why did the sales spike?
That's right. I mean, the book actually had done quite well since its release. I mean, it's not like we were lacking for sales, and we were very happy with the book's performance. But then something extraordinary happened, and the story begins on April 17th, so roughly a month ago. There had been a spike in interest for various reasons in the book. The Amazon sales ranking, which I think had been hovering around 8,000 best-selling book on Amazon, it moved up to 7,000 or to 6,000, and this caught my interest. So the morning of April 17th, I checked in to see what the ranking was, and it improved yet further. Now it was the 5,000th most popular book on Amazon or something like that. And this was encouraging. We were selling books, so I was happy. So I went to my office, started doing other work, and later in the day checked in to see where we stood. Was our ranking still going up? And to my great surprise, I discovered that the paperback edition of the book, not only could I not see its ranking, the listing had entirely disappeared from Amazon. It just vanished. It had been suppressed. So I called my distributor, my American distributor. He has contact with Amazon, or the ability to enter into contact with Amazon, which I don't. and ask him what was going on. So he put in a request with Amazon. We didn't have a response right away. And then halfway through the weekend, I think it was late Saturday night or really early Sunday morning, we got an email from Amazon saying that they had carefully reviewed the matter and unfortunately could not reinstate the listing because on their determination, it was in violation of Amazon's offensive content policy.
Okay.
No explanation of what content was offensive or who it offended. It was just simply offensive, and that was it. And we had no possibility for real appeal after that. So it looked pretty bad. It looked like the paperback was gone. It was only a matter of time before all other formats were suppressed, the hardcover, the audiobook, and the ebook. Monday morning rolls around and we decide that, well, we have to fight this as well as we can. And all we could do was put out a press release. So we posted a press release to X, not really expecting much to come of it. And to our great surprise, in the next, I'd say 18 hours, it had been seen something like 2.5 million times. The result was a lot of media interest. There were quite a few stories about the matter, a few interviews. And it was interesting what happened over the course of that day. So that now we're April 20th, Monday. We put out the press release. There's lots of interest in the story. Metaphorically, my phone is ringing off the hook, but, getting lots of emails and contacts. Halfway through the day, the hardcover edition disappears too. So that seems to be a bad sign. That seems to be, okay, Amazon's sticking to their guns. They're going to suppress this book. They don't care about the press release. They don't care about the negative media attention.
And are there other translations of this book, or are you the only English translation on the market? Or
no, the book actually was first appeared in English language translation back in 1975. It was translated by a well-known translator named.
I guess I'm just curious: are there other English versions you can buy on Amazon that weren't punished?
You can buy used editions. Ours is the only authorized current translation. But on the used market, you can easily purchase a copy of the 1975 translation. And Amazon made no move whatsoever to suppress those books on the used market. I mean, perhaps it'd get around to it eventually. I don't know. But during this episode, they left those books up and were only targeting us. But to end the story, the remarkable thing is by that evening, everything had changed. Amazon issued a statement claiming that the book had been suppressed as the result of a technical error, which is curious because not only does it not acknowledge the email that we received that had been suppressed for offensive content, but in addition to which, it makes no effort to explain how a technical error occurs and the only book that ends up getting suppressed happens to be one of the most controversial books now in publication.
Right, and at the time of its sales surge, and I get it, weird things happen tech-wise, but you got an email citing a specific reason for the removal. And
we did.
If I'm understanding, nobody ever explained what the offensive content was. You never heard.
No, there was no explanation. And what's more, the day before this all began, there was a very long article that appeared in New York Magazine, essentially linking J.D. Vance to Viktor Orban, who had just been defeated in elections in Hungary. In the midst of the article, there's a paragraph in which Viktor Orban is discussed, Rod Dreher is discussed, and both are linked to the camp of the Saints. The next day, our listing gets suppressed. So I'm not sure that those two events are connected, but I would not in the least be surprised if they were.
And it's not like you got a contact at Amazon at any point. You didn't get a name of a person you could actually talk to and ask these questions?
No. Amazon is extremely opaque. Even for distributors, it's these days very, very hard to enter into contact with an actual person with a name who you can talk to again.
Yeah, I've lived in the world of YouTube for some time, and it seems like it operates the same way. You get punished, and maybe if you're lucky, you can find your way to talk to a real person, but it's probably not going to happen. You're going to get automated emails that don't explain much. So
that's right.
Okay, so the book just comes back, and Amazon puts its tail between its legs and walks away. Is that the end of that story? Are there any updates as to the status of the book on Amazon or anything else that's happened since?
Well, they restored both listings that had been suppressed. They restored because they'd also suppressed all reviews that we'd received since the book's release. They They restored all of those reviews. They restored all of the star ratings. We had quite a good star ratings, like 4.8 out of 5. Now it's 4.9, I believe. But the most important thing that occurred following the restoration of our listing was that there was this huge surge in sales. So
Streisand effect, yeah.
So yeah, when the book was suppressed, as I said, I think we're around 5,000 in the Amazon book rankings. In the week following the restoration of the listing, we were consistently in the top 10 of all books on Amazon. At one point, we're the 5th best-selling book on Amazon. So the result of Amazon's attempt to suppress the Camp of the Saints is to have brought the book to the attention of thousands of people who otherwise would never have heard of it and who then proceeded to purchase it. We're still satisfying those orders now. I mean, our printer is working as fast as they can to keep up with the backlog. But
yeah, and I'm one of them. I had no knowledge of this book until this whole controversy.
All right. Okay.
Obviously, you chose to translate and publish this book for a reason.
Yes.
Give me a sense of the reason why. I know you described the story, the content a little bit, but what is it about this book that captures your attention and your interest?
There are several reasons. The least interesting is that our little publishing venture, Vauban Books, specializes in what we call dissident literature and translation, specifically French dissident literature and translation. And given that remit, no title fits into it better than Jean Raspail's The Camp of the Saints. It is a famous precisely for its status as kind of an outlaw book, as it were. The other reason is that The Camp of the Saints, many people describe it as prophetic, and I think in many respects it is. If you look around a bit online, people who have read our edition of the book, many of them are struck by the degree to which this book that was written in 1973 seems to be speaking directly to our moment, about us, about our world. And it is, I think. Not so much for in what regards the particulars of the migrant fleet and the migrant invasion, though there's that too, of course. Insofar as, not so much about the migrant fleet as in what it has to say about the response of Western elites to the migrant crisis on the one hand, and the manner in which public opinion is managed to persuade national populations to accept what turns out to be de facto an invasion. So from both of these points of view, it is extremely prescient and I think a very important and valuable contribution to the literature of the contemporary world. It deserves to be in print. So that's why we brought it back.
So if somebody wants to pick up this book, it sounds like they'd have to wait a minute maybe for the printed version. What kind of delay should they expect? And if they would rather get it, say, in a digital format, I take it they could probably do that right now if they want to pick it up digitally. And is there an audiobook as well?
Yeah, we have it in 4 formats, paperback every week. New print runs are being shipped out. So I expect that in, say, 3 weeks, we will have met the backlog. But if you order it today, you're going to have to wait a few weeks to get your copy. We have another print run of the hardcover edition that will start shipping in late June, second half of June. But in the meantime, if you want to read it today, you can go to Amazon, ironically enough, and download the Kindle version of the book, or alternately, you can buy it on Audible, also an Amazon property, and listen to the book. And the reviews for both, but in particular for the Audible version, have been excellent. People who like audiobooks have really enjoyed this one.
Well, beyond the controversy with this book, what else is going on in the world of publishing? I'm not a huge recreational reader in that way, so I'm not often connected to the market and picking up books in the way many other people might. But it sounds like we exist in something of a similar world, making video and podcast content on the internet where the powers that be don't often want to hear that sort of thing. It sounds like it has some overlap with the book publishing world as well. But how would you discuss the state of the industry, and is what happened with the Camp of the Saints, is this some weird outlier, or is this part of a trend?
No, it's an interesting question. It very much is part of a trend. in publishing, we've seen the same phenomenon that we've seen in other cultural institutions and institutions of, if you like, elite reproduction, like the university system, where over the past 15 or 20 years, there's been this remarkable kind of progressive consolidation. The institutions have been captured. The publishing world, for the most part, has been captured by ideological progressivism, with one result being that books and authors who fall outside of that, or worse yet, directly contest the reign of ideological progressivism, just don't get published. They don't exist anymore. And that, for years, I think has been a problem. What's interesting today is that we're seeing just on the margins, just a little bit, and I think our publishing venture is part of this. We're seeing a return to, if you like, the original militant spirit of publishing, where publishing is not just simply an industry or a business. It's also an intervention. And so just in the past few years, we've seen a number of small independent publishers spring up in the United States and also to some degree in Great Britain that are bringing out books that are valuable books, that are worthwhile books, that are books that should be in print, that are books that we hope people will actually buy and read, but that simply would not have got published otherwise. So there's us, Vauban Books. We have a new imprint called the Malden Press that's specifically devoted to work originally written in English, in contrast to Vauban, which is about translation. Another big, important new publishing house is Passage Press, which you may have heard of. They brought out a lot of important work, and there are 5 or 6 others I can mention off the top of my head. So yeah, I think that we're kind of in a transformative moment in publishing, where the true purpose and ends of publishing are once again reasserting themselves, despite what is often the direct frontal opposition of the gatekeepers of respectable opinion and the people who control the institutions, as we saw most recently in Amazon's attempt to suppress us.
Is there anything else about this particular story with the Camp of the Saints or about the state of publishing that I didn't ask about that you think is important for people to understand?
About the state of publishing, no, not so much. I mean, I perhaps I would add this to what I just said. I think what we have shown and what Passage and what other independent presses have lately shown is that you can just do it. You don't need anyone's authorization. You don't need their permission. They don't need to like you. It doesn't matter. You can just bring out, at least in this country for now, you can just bring out books. It doesn't actually even cost that much. Right? You just have to want to do it, and you can do it. That's one thing I would say. As far as the book, I would just like to add there is a difference between our edition and the original, the 1975 translation I referred to earlier. The 1975 translation was based on the first French edition from 1973. Ours is based on the final French edition from 2011. Raspail revisited the book on multiple occasions between those two dates, revised it, improved it, streamlined it. And so it's the same book, but it's not quite the same book. In addition to which, our edition includes a fairly long, but also, I think, fascinating preface written by Raspail for the final 2011 edition. So in some sense, our book is Raspail's literary testament in a way. It's the book that he wanted you to read, and the preface tells you what he wanted you to take away from it.
Well, that's my guest, Ethan Rundell, editor-in-chief at Vauban Books. You can find Vauban Books on X at Vauban Books or at vaubanbooks.com. Those are both linked in the description for your convenience. Ethan, is there anything else you would like to promote?
I would just once again say that we have a new imprint called the Malden Press. We brought out 2 novels this year, both set in contemporary England, both directly addressing the dire state of English liberties today. One of them is about the grooming gang scandal, for instance. And they're both very much worth reading. So I would invite your listeners, if they have time, to check that out as well.
Well, thank you for your time. I really appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you, Matt.
stand back and stand by.
Thanks again to Ethan Rundell, publisher at Vauban Books. Find his links and the link to buy the book, The Camp of the Saints, in the description. I say Vauban, but I did ask Ethan, and it's French, so it's Vauban Books or something like that. I can't say it, but I just wanted to respect the proper pronunciation of the title of the publication company. Did you have any Camp of the Saints related commentary?
Well, I wish I could have made the interview, obviously, but I was, helping the poor people, so I guess it was a productive thing to be busy with.
Oh, you're revealing your official Fed duties now. Okay,
not exactly. I'm just a cog in the machine. I have no.
Well, it's an important machine. We thank you for your contributions in both venues, booking guests for this show and deporting people.
I'm just following orders. All right.
Sorry, I didn't mean to. It's a very important defense. I didn't mean to clump on that. Yeah. Okay, we're going to get into hoax hate. Before we do, I wanted to talk about this segment on Howie Mandel's show with
I hate her.
Aging, promiscuous, alleged comedian Chelsea Handler, famous for, among other things, making cringe videos about how happy she is in elderly childlessness. She might be childish too. Childlessness, though, is her claim to fame currently. And describing how glad she is that she aborted 2 children, and generally trying to convince women that there's no need for marriage or motherhood. They can live a perfectly fulfilled life without those things. Now, Chelsea is trying to figure out why good men are so hard to find. Not just for her, but for her fellow girl boss friends. So she was on Howie Mandel's podcast this week, and she is just baffled. There are no good men who want to lock it in with all the eligible women she knows. It must be all those dating apps that are to blame for what's happening to the men in this country.
Yeah. And it's very hard in today's world to meet straight guys that have their shit together. For something's wrong. I don't know what's wrong. So I was initially trying to help straight women meet straight men.
Right.
But I think with dating apps and social media, there's just so much abundance and so much choice that nobody really feels like they have to lock it in. You know what I mean? Like they can swipe through 50 women a day, so they're not making the effort that people used to make to date. So I meet all these amazing, incredible women that are badasses. They have their own lives. They have their big jobs, and they're all just there's no men out there.
And how do you get them?
Don't you think it's also because men or women are able to be a little bit more picky and choosy these days? We're able to say, if you're not going to make my life better, if you're not actually going to add to it, why do I need to settle down or have a relationship?
Yeah, and men are feeling attacked. You know, they're attacked. They feel attacked, and so they're kind of just there's a lot of men that don't even want to have a relationship with women. They can't deal with women's success or women's independence. They don't like that. Not every guy is okay with that. It's emasculating. So it's a shift. We're going through a culture shift, it feels like.
As one of the top replies observes, you're not supposed to have anything to do with dating culture at age 60.
Bingo.
I mean, there is a point to be made about the whole, dating apps being a net negative. But whenever women talk about how great their friends are, you think that because you're friends with them, they're probably completely unremarkable.
If they're friends with Chelsea Handler, they're not just unremarkable, they're probably insufferable. Yeah.
And the whole female comedian, there's no such thing truly.
We'll get to her comedy in a moment.
Years ago, I was at a comedy show with some friends, and they had a female opener, and I whispered to them, I'm like, great, we got to hear some jokes about this woman having sex with a bunch of dudes. It's going to be so funny. And then that was her exact set. And my friend, I guess they had never seen a female comedian before, because they were like, wow, how did you know that's what she was going to joke about?
Have you ever heard Amy Schumer? Have you ever heard
every female comic ever?
God, dude.
Yeah.
To her points, men aren't making the effort that they used to make to date. Well, you're the one telling women for years that they don't need marriage, they don't need children. Just indulge your sexual appetites freely. Okay, then you're surprised when men don't commit themselves to that. Why would men commit themselves? Women who don't want marriage, don't want children, and give sex away for free. Yeah. There's no incentive, there's no necessity for a man to commit to that.
And
now,
just had 2 abortions too. Like you're having sex with like a cemetery at that point. It's disgusting.
Listen, I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm not a necrophiliac.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever the term is. But to the point on her comedy, I mean, a lot of that is the bit. This is a joke, but it's also serious. This is Chelsea herself rejecting marriage and family with a hilarious female comedian sketch in 2023.
This is a day in the life of a childless woman. I wake up at 6 a.m. I remember that I have no kids to take to school, so I take an edible, masturbate, and go back to sleep. I call up a babysitter and tell her that I don't need her since I still don't have kids. Now it's time for a workout, so I hit Mount Everest for a quick climb. I invent a time machine, go back in time, and kill Hitler.
Freeze, you bastard!
It's amazing what you can do when you have this much free time. And that's a day in the life of a childless woman.
Congratulations. Okay, she's in her 50s, so her kids would be 20 to 30 years old by now.
The one she aborted, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I looked it up too. She had her abortions when she was very young. It was she credits that with her whole career, which should have never happened.
God, do you remember back at one of the women's marches? It was Bussy Phillips, that actress, just screeching about how she could never have had her career if she hadn't killed her kids through abortion. Yeah. It's like, what? It's obviously you shouldn't think that way in principle and in general theory, but when you actually have children, it is Princess Bride inconceivable. Mm-hmm. Like, the idea that I could just delete my children from this earth in exchange for professional advancement. What's the reason I even care about professional achievement? Now, don't get me wrong. I want to perform well for its own sake. But if I'm not building something for my children, why the hell am I building it? What am I doing?
You see this loserish behavior with young people who love travel, where they're like, they'll use that as an excuse to not have children. And like, you can bring your kids with you.
It does suck though. They're right about that.
I know it's gotta suck.
Have you tried it yet?
Not well. She's only 6 months, but
yeah.
But listen,
try it with 2 and get back to me.
I know we
haven't even tried it with 3. Impossible.
I know it's not ideal, but it's something you can do. And when they're older, it's going to be an even better experience than just doing it, with your wife. And then the other argument you hear from the people who don't have kids is, we can afford all this extra stuff, but it's always like dumb shit that you could live without anyway. It's never anything cool.
Well, as a general rule, and again, I know what Chelsea is saying here is a joke. It's intended to be.
I get it's a bit, but still.
It is a bit. It's a Daily Show thing. However, as a general rule, if you have to tell people constantly how happy you are, whether it's on social media or in Comedy Central bits, you're not happy. The people who are actually fulfilled in their lives don't even make joke routines about how fulfilled they are because they don't need that sort of public affirmation in that way. And when she says, men don't like this because they feel attacked and emasculated. You're right. It turns out that when there are just a bunch of girl bosses everywhere, there are fewer boy bosses, and boy bosses are generally not attracted to girl bosses or, men in general. But the other side is girl bosses are not attracted to men who are not boy bosses, men who are lower in, say, the workplace or pay or achievement or educational attainment or whatever. And because we've elevated so many women to so many high-level positions, they are now often earning more than men. They are more highly educated on average than men are. And women are naturally repulsed by the idea of their boyfriend, their husband, being supposedly academically or professionally below them. Maybe that's the wrong way to phrase it. What they're repulsed by is being a breadwinner for their families. And that's not the role that they naturally want or fit. Now, some do it. I'm not saying if you're in that situation, you're wrong and your family's bad. No, I'm saying if you want to understand why men and women come into conflict and don't work well together in the way that Chelsea's describing, make female breadwinner the norm. Women are not going to respect the men in their lives, and the men are going to feel emasculated and reduced in exactly the way that Chelsea's describing. And it also means that these super high-performing boy bosses who are actually in these high-level positions and earning a ton of money, they are more rare because there are more girl bosses. And when they're more rare, what does that mean? That means they have their pick. If I'm a boy boss who's making a ton of money, I'm a high-value man, you think I'm going to go to like some 35, 40-year-old woman who spent all this time building some supposedly respectable career. No, I'm going to go to a hot 20-something woman who's going to be my wife and the mother of my children, and we're going to have a huge family because she has a wide time frame to work with to make that possible. So it's cruel what she's doing. She's acting like she has nothing to do with this broken relationship between men and women, when in fact what she's advocating is exactly what produces it. It produces women who waste their family building years on a lie that they're going to be satisfied and happy with being a career driven girl boss. And it makes men unhappy because they're going to have to be in this bizarre female breadwinning situation. Or if they overcome that, they're not going to pick the women who are the career girl bosses anyway. Yeah. So it's Chelsea's own philosophy that is manufacturing these unmarriageable women that she's complaining about. And still, it's got to be someone else's fault. Oh, aren't men the worst? It's still, though, this is also men's fault somehow. If your entire philosophy is, I don't need a man, and then men say, okay, I guess I'll go on my way then because I'm not needed here, you don't get to then complain and blame men because those are your terms. But that's exactly what she's doing. Seemed like you had some thoughts there. Sorry for running long.
I'm referencing her skit, but if you have time to take an edible at 6 a.m. and get all your duties done, you have time to raise a kid.
She says she sleeps in till 12:30. And again, I know it's a joke, but
I get it's a joke. But if it was literal, it's like, okay, you could use the time for a kid. And she doesn't have a real career anyway.
Well, she's made it this far somehow. You decide yourself how that has possibly been achieved.
Yeah. But it would not be difficult to manage having a kid and also going on TV shows. Like, you get a nanny. I mean, I wouldn't want that for, my kid, obviously. But if you're someone who also wants to have that level of professional career, like you can get a helper, you can afford. This woman's worth millions of dollars. I mean, our Secretary of Transportation has like 9 kids, and he manages that plus an entire government agency. Like, it's doable.
By the way, the fate she's complaining about is her own fate. Yeah. Howie asked if she's single. She is. She tries to play it off like that's exactly what she wants per the Comedy Central bit.
Are you in a relationship right now? They say you're a cowboy.
I wouldn't say I'm in a relationship. I would say I'm dabbling in different areas of my life. I don't like to be tethered to one person.
Okay, so if you don't like to be tethered to one person, this is what you want. I get it. Technically, she's complaining on behalf of her friends. But again, the lifestyle you're advocating is not being tethered to one person. So what's to complain about for all the fellow women who aren't tethered to one person? This is what you've designed. This is what you want. So what is the problem? And lastly, you sent me the Shane Gillis bit. I do have that prepped. So
we can't play the full video, but it's.
I think I cut it down. I got both the abortion joke and your Epstein joke because I know you wanted both.
They were both very worth putting in.
What's the This was the roast of Kevin
Hart was getting roasted, but the comedians, it's all professional comedians, and they all also roast each other in addition to the main person. So Tony Hinchcliffe also roasted the hell out of her, and I think Gillis and Hinchcliffe have some sort of beef with her. I don't know their history, because Hinchcliffe at one point clearly went off script and when he was roasting her, and he's just like, she's terrible, she's awful, we've all seen her. Like, he was not.
They've heard her talk is the beef. They've heard her talk before. Yeah. Did she do a roast herself?
Yeah, it was not funny.
Wow, shocking. Yeah. Shane Gillis was pretty funny though. Here he is roasting Chelsea.
Chelsea is a Zionist. I'm not saying that's good or bad. Speaking of dead kids, she's a big fan of abortions. Chelsea's been scraped more times than the grill at Benihana. Speaking of tossing tiny shrimp into a child's mouth, Chelsea Handler went to dinner at Jeffrey Epstein's house in 2010. It's just a fun one. You can look it up. There's articles. It wasn't like a big party. There was like 7 people there. And it was like Prince Andrew and Woody Allen were there. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, Chelsea Handler.
Fucking own, bitch!
I just don't like her, and she went to Epstein Island or whatever. Never forget.
Like, there was no reason to mention that other than I hate this woman.
All right. Any other Handler commentary before we move on?
She was the worst, but no.
Fairly stated. Yeah. All right, hoax hate time. Then we'll get to our Fitzgerald twin segment.
Oh, I'll tell them too. We're having them on soon.
And now, the nobody saw it happen, but it's totally a product of Trump's America hoax hate crime of the week.
Ah, shit, it's backwards. You think they'll notice?
In Palmetto, Florida, between Tampa and Sarasota, the Manatee County Sheriff's Office is investigating vandalism at an historic black cemetery. Knocked over and broken headstones, spray-painted grave sites, and damaged concrete throughout. Worse still, it was apparently political. The vandals did it to honor their leaders, Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis.
I mean, extreme anger. That's my family and so many other families, individuals that I'm familiar with that are here, buried here. When you look and you see spray painted on a vault, DeSantis and Trump, it makes you wonder, is it politically motivated? And I tend to believe that it is, but I can't prove that.
Well, it looked like someone moved it because it was straight the last time I saw it. I just thought it was evil. It was evil, and it's not right.
I misspoke. It wasn't done to honor Donald Trump. It was done to honor Donald Trump. Or Donald Trump-up.
And the thing is, if it is real, the guy was like, it says Trump and DeSantis. Is this political? Maybe.
I can't prove it.
I can't prove it.
Other than the explicit political messaging.
Yeah.
At least they did clarify, because clearly they misspelled Trump and then fixed it here by making a P into an M. On the Ron DeSantis one, they clarified it's Ron DeSantis. They added the first name. So
that's good.
Just so we make sure everyone knows it's not a different DeSantis. So to the point on it being political, they did specify Ron. Now, reading about this story, point of fact, investigators believe the damage was done in March or prior. So this has been the case. This vandalism has been sitting around for some 2 months.
No one noticed?
Nobody noticed. Now I get it. It's not like you go
sad.
visit a grave site like every week or something. However, nobody. You look at the video. There's a lot of plots here. Like there's a lot of people buried at this place. Nobody went. Isn't there like a groundskeeper? Doesn't anybody like mow the grass or something? How was this unnoticed for 2 months' time?
If this is real, how pissed would you be if you committed a hate crime and then no one cared?
Yeah, he's just sitting around waiting.
All right, someone be offended, please.
I'd be even more pissed off than the ghosts of these poor people. Nobody came to visit me. I'm going to haunt you good. I'm going to go visit them in their sleep and tell them to come pay respects to Donald Trump up.
And Ron DeSantis.
I have an update on the backwards. I don't know if it was backward. He might have got his right, but the Nazi Taquon in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Turns out Taquon's not done. He was arrested for spray painting swastikas on public and private property around Fayetteville, and he was arrested for that graffiti that we talked about last Sunday. Posted $1,500 bond, so he was released on Tuesday. Immediately after his release, he started pointing a gun at passing cars and people on the street, and he got arrested again.
That's some bull.
Now they're serious about him in the Fayetteville justice system, so they're holding him on $2,500 bond.
I mean, for him, that might be a lot. We don't know. But Jesus, man.
He's got nothing left to work with. So
I think Chud the Builder was not quite as bad.
Taquon the Nazi, don't stop him when he's doing his swastika artwork or he'll point guns at people. All right. Lastly, I know you sent me this one in the Discord server too. This is a new one as far as I've seen.
I'd never seen this before.
In the UK, Ash Sarkar, I think is how you say her.
She's retarded, yeah.
Well, I looked at her Wikipedia, described as a libertarian communist political activist. That's
Why not?
I know that technically Antifa people claim to be. That's not a thing. You can't be libertarian communist. But you have some knowledge of this person. I don't. What's she about?
She's just a British comment. Well, not actually British, but by citizenship, a British commentator who just has a lot of makes headlines a lot for very dumb woke comments and that kind of thing.
Like this sort of thing.
Yes.
She was out on a walk. She says at lunch through her local park. And she's wise enough to know that the swastika drawn into like leaves and debris on the pathway is she doesn't think it was done by hardened Nazis. She thinks it was done by just punk kids, but still utterly disgusting behavior. And yes, she says her husband and her, they scuffed it up. They mixed all this up so you couldn't see the swastika anymore before they left. I got to say, pretty impressive, as many observed in the replies. Neither rain nor wind nor any weather elements disturbed this very sharply drawn backward swastika at all. It is remarkably preserved for something that has just been sitting out exposed to the elements for some time and clearly was not drawn by this woman immediately before taking the photo. But here is the X factor in this the image about who may be responsible. Do you notice one key detail about this image? Look closely, like Rafiki telling Simba, look closer. You give up?
I don't think I'm seeing what you want me to see.
Exactly. You're gonna,
but it looks like on the left, it almost looks like it's like it branches off, but I can't tell if there's dirt.
You're overthinking it. Okay. You are right. It's on the left. What is to the top left of the swastika? Was it Taquon the Nazi who did this one too? It's a banana peel.
Oh, come on. Jeez. Well, I'm not going to say anything.
I think it was Taquon. I think Taquon
he went to England. Jesus.
Okay. Anything else to say about the
No, that's
the leaf Nazi?
Very good find.
All right. Credit to Ashenwolf on X for noticing that key detail. I think you cracked the because I didn't notice it at first either. And it's the kind of thing when I look at the original photo, I'm like, how did I not see the banana peel right there? In fact, it looks like the banana is still in the peel. Maybe it's hard to tell. Oh. Anyway, all right, that will bring us to our second guest segment tonight, and.
Just before, so we actually, for their social media, they changed their handles a few hours ago, so the one in the description is not accurate for them. So just to give them the correct plug, their X and Kick.com accounts, it's x.com/ and kick.com/ RyanTwin20. And I'm just going to copy that in the chat so Ninja can share those correct ones.
You get like one change.
I'm very generous. I'm a generous man.
All right.
All right.
So this is a piece of hoax hate history, an interview with the actual hate hoaxers themselves. That's never happened. I've never secured such a thing. It was great. That is thanks to the highly regarded Matt Palumbo, his effort to achieve it. We appreciate that. Now, to catch people up, recall a few weeks ago, we talked about this hoax KKK sighting in West Warwick, Rhode Island. And it was revealed to be the work of these two twin brothers, Ryan and Sean Fitzgerald. And recall during a follow-up interview with local NBC 10, the reporter on that story, Leanna Falk is her name, asked Ryan if he has connections to the KKK. And he responded, quote, I wish, much to his brother Sean's shock. Now, a few things about this interview. It is complete clownery. Please do not.
It's good.
Don't take this as anything serious. The Fitzgerald brothers clearly did the stunt as a joke, and they're treating, I think, this segment as a joke, which I don't mean to knock. Like it ends up being pretty
really
funny. It's just, if you wanted like a hard-hitting exploration of the moral themes, that's not what this is. So there's a reason I put this segment at the very end of the show. Let's put it that way. And you will see some cuts in the segment because it was about 18 minutes long, and that was just too much time. There were some repeated points. So with that, they will tell their side of the story, how they did it, why they did it, the many pieces of wisdom they've learned through this ordeal, and who they'll fight to preserve their honor and dignity, including you, if necessary. So careful with your criticism. Segment's about 13 minutes. We'll see you on the other side.
Stand back and stand by.
Ryan and Sean Fitzgerald, twin brothers, both admitted to NBC 10 that they were behind this viral video. It was revealed this viral video was actually planned by him and his twin brother, Sean.
Who was in the robe?
Me.
Sounds like you have regrets about the whole thing.
You bet I have regrets. Oh, yeah. I'm very angry. He knows where my head is with this whole thing. He's been getting screamed at for the last 48 hours.
Do you regret it at all?
Do I regret it? Regret my delivery? I regret. Actually, no, I don't regret it. No, I don't.
Oh,
no, I don't.
Regret
nope,
it?
I don't.
Oh,
actually,
okay.
The more I think about it, no, I don't.
Do you have any connections to the KKK?
I wish, but no, not at the moment. I don't.
Wish?
I don't have any connections to them.
Welcome back. Our guests tonight are the Fitzgerald twins, Ryan and Sean, seen recently staging a KKK sighting in West Warwick, Rhode Island. Gentlemen, thank you for making time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Always
being
can
here.
make time. Thank you.
So, our audience is generally familiar with the event that happened the other week. You guys originally said that you saw this Bigfoot-looking KKK guy walking around the streets of West Warwick, and then it turns out that it was you, Ryan, in the robes, right?
Bet your ass it was,
So-
and I'll do it again. And he'll do it.
I know
I'll do
you-
it again.
I know you said that you regret nothing. So just why? What is the origin of this stunt? Why did it happen? Why? Tell us why.
Oh, here's the thing. Real quick, we were actually just going out for a nightly stroll like we usually do at 2 a.m. because we're a couple of goblins, dude. We don't really like to go out in the sunlight. We're just not those kind of guys. We're very hideous, dude.
We're ugly.
We try to remain under the cover of darkness. So I was going to check to see if the girl that I had been currently sleeping with that has 5 kids with 3 men, because I can't get women, so I just have to kind of take what I can get. I was driving to her house to see if she really moved, to see if everything was packed up, and she really did leave. So we were driving back, and that's when he had the idea to put that outfit on and pop out the vehicle.
And I'll tell you what, I wish I could tell you why I did it, but if I do, then I'll get arrested, so I can't.
Well,
Like,
don't
you know,
say that.
I shouldn't even say that. Like, I made the video to prove a point to white people, if you want the truth. Everybody thinks I did it to hate on black people. I thought I hated black people when I put the robe on. Now I figured out I hate white, fat, middle-aged women. That's who I hate the most right now.
We realized what we were missing, dude, is not the white robe. We need a Black Panther
Yeah,
robe.
I need to be in the Black Panther.
We need to be with, like, the fucking NWA.
Listen,
dude.
dude, I
Like
hate
the power.
I hate white people right now, dude, more than I've ever hated. I can't even leave my house, bro. When I leave my house, you should see people go like this to me, like they're fucking 10.
Like 5-year-olds,
Yeah,
dude.
and then here's the thing. They don't do shit in public, bro.
They don't do shit.
And I'm a tiny guy. I'm a $140
We're
on a good
twerps,
day.
dude. We're twerps.
But nobody does shit, bro.
Okay, what-
But I have been fucked with by Democrat white people. All the people fucking with me are white knighting blacks. Black people don't need a mouthpiece. They don't need it. They can stand on
She
their own.
literally told
You
us
mean white people white knighting for black people? That's what you mean?
There you go.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
what I meant to say.
The black woman last night, who I've never met before because I don't see black people very often. She was kind of like a celebrity to me.
Yeah, it's Rhode Island.
They're not around here.
So speaking to her, she literally told us, like, we don't want white people talking for us, dude. It's embarrassing, dude. Think about it. Why would any woman 200 plus pounds with a fucking bulldog nose ring be injecting her commentary into something that has nothing to do with it?
Let me back up just a little bit because you say you're out, you're checking in on the woman who is your recent romantic interest, and you have this you have this idea on the spot. Hey man, let's stage a KKK sighting. So you put on the robes. Where did the robes come from? Like, how did you have the costume on you? Did you make it on the spot?
You bet your ass I did. I drive around with it. So I made it that night. I said, I don't know if I'm going to use it. I ordered it off Amazon. The police interrogated me for literally
They have a
hours.
KKK costume on Amazon?
Well, no, here's the best part. It's
Do you have a
called
referral
monk
code?
outfit. It's called a monk outfit. So if you take the monk outfit and you pull the hood all the way down, it turns into the KKK. I just drilled
Okay.
some holes in it. But
So you had been
the
planning. You had been planning this for a little while, or because one of the funniest parts. I'll be quick because I know you got a lot to say.
Yeah.
One of the funniest parts of your TV interview after the fact was when the reporter asked you, "Do you have connections to the KKK?" And you said, "I wish."
And I still do. I wish.
Now was that
I still wish.
was that a bit? Did you guys plan that, or was
no, dude?
Because that was hilarious.
That was so good.
When me and Sean, when the media found out it was me, 90% of them said, they called me. They're like, "We're not working with you anymore. You lied to us. We're not fucking with you." I'm like, "That's fine."
Did you
Then
Did you feed the story to them, or did they come to you, or you post it on social media?
All I did was, that's why everyone's like, "Why isn't he arrested for filing a false report?"
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
dumb fuck, I didn't call the police, bro.
Okay.
And I didn't
I figured
call
as
the
such.
news. All I did was post it in a local Facebook group in West Warwick. That's all I did.
Okay.
I posted it in a group.
Yeah, he posted it in a group.
I posted it like 2 a.m. I woke up.
I told him not to.
Yeah, he told me not
I
to.
said, don't fucking post it, dude. You're out of your
But
fucking
I said,
mind.
you know what I did when I posted it? I said, "Fuck this town."
Yeah, he
and
did.
I swore on my mom. That's what I said. I said, "Fuck these people."
Yeah, well,
He's really pissing me off.
Yeah,
up
no
there.
shit, dude.
So I said, "Fuck these people," and it just so happened that when I wore the robe, I walked by an LGBTQ-owned business. So this fucking freak went on TV making it about
She made
her.
it all about her.
I said, "Bitch, I thought that was a soup kitchen."
I told him not to do it the whole point of going on the interview with Leanna, remember that big giant black woman, the Venus Williams looking bitch? The ogre. She literally, Ryan was supposed to apologize. That's why when we were wrapping it up, he started to babble, and then he completely reneged the whole thing and doubled down.
He what?
I was about to apologize, but the cameraman was a white liberal. The cameraman, his job is to film me and shut the fuck up. And he decided, oh, Leanna, I have a few questions for him. This is the bozo cameraman. So he's like, don't you think you're going to FAFO? I said, dude, no offense. You're proving my point right now.
Stop trying to be edgy with the FAFO.
I'm like, you're over here speaking on behalf of Liana, who's a black reporter, like she can't open her own big mouth. Like, he's sitting there saying, oh, you're going to end up this. You should go to therapy. I'm like, dude, you're proving my point by simping for the black man. Like I said, I started this whole thing saying, fuck black people. They fuck me. They hurt me. They've hurt me badly.
They hurt you.
And then I said to myself,
how'd they hurt you?
But now you've been converted that white people are way worse.
So here's the thing. I'll tell you why white people are worse.
White people are the devil.
I have my son's fucking friends, bro. My son's friends, their parents that are like 44, calling me, moaning into the phone, bro. I'm talking grown men. I'm not getting fucked with by these white liberal assholes in my town. But here's the thing. I have only been attacked, other than those two at the gas station. Hey, it's all white people fucking with me, bro.
I gotta believe that one, I think. Renege is okay.
But the renege, like...
And there's women on there saying, I'm going to beat the fuck out of him. Try it, bitch. I hit back. Dude, then it's try it. Then it's these
You have women threatening to beat you up? They're not following through, though?
Women, dude, no. Dude, I wish a fucking woman would.
No, don't do that.
I wish.
But no, there's also guys like, you know how they shave their head bald and they got like the spider web tattoo on their head and shit?
I was thinking about getting one of those, maybe. Like, I don't know.
Those are the guys that are literally talking shit, dude. Like, okay, where are you? You're not here, dude. They don't do shit, bro, and they're not gonna. See, here's the problem, you guys have to understand. I might look retarded, but I'm not. I know I look retarded.
We look like ghouls.
I know.
Very advantageous, yeah.
I know I look retarded, but what people don't remember is money has no color, right? Retards like me have money. That's why I win in life, because nobody fucks with me because they think I'm a broke bitch. I run 2 successful companies. You think this has slowed down my business?
What is your business? What are the businesses? No. What do you do?
I run Hocus Pocus junk removal. It's no secret, bro.
Oh,
I was on TV 4 years ago for getting sober. The news ran a story on me and my brother because I was a severe alcoholic. I started Hocus Pocus, dude. I started making more money than I even. Dude, we're literally this is the thing that I hate about what everybody says about us. We are top donators in this town.
Yeah, I help people.
I bet you are. Yeah, I'm sure.
Dude, no bullshit. My dog got a hold of a mouse, dude. I was absolutely mortified.
We were devastated.
I picked up the mouse, dude.
Very
I put
gentle.
him on a makeshift bed. I put a face cloth over him. I tried to nurse him back to health, dude. But one thing I'll tell you this, dude. Fuck white people and fuck every single person that's LGBTQ.
Hey, not all of us.
Fuck you guys. And then any woman that's 5'2" or under and you're $140 plus, don't come knocking on my door. I am done.
They won't even walk by your house in robes if you're that fat.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I stand outside and I wave to people. They don't do shit.
Why do you think people believed this at first sight, at face value? Because Matt sent me this story early in the week when it broke.
You and I both were like, there's no way this is actually a KKK guy.
Imagine being so retarded.
Yeah.
Thinking that if there was a Klan in the town,
they'd be in West Warwick.
If there was a Klan in the town, you think that we as the Klan are gonna put on a fucking Klan outfit from 1920, like Mississippi Burning? No, dude.
Trolling around the gazebo in West Warwick?
The KKK is moving quietly through the suburbs, bro. They're not fucking putting a robe on. It was the Timu version of KKK. I'm like a Timu Chud the Builder.
The real KKK has the fucking Archimedes hats, dude, that go way up to the sky, dude. It didn't even look real.
They did the B-roll shot of this white woman with the bow ring.
With the fucking
bangs. She's like, I was so scared. Fuck you. Good. I hope you were scared. You stupid bitch. How dumb can you be being scared of a bedsheet?
Well,
you dumb bitch.
You're trying to take the spotlight off the black people. Let the black people have their moment.
Yeah.
Don't come in as a white bitch with chopped bangs and try to take the story.
And you know those glasses that they all wear?
Yeah, the Dahmer glass.
Like, fucking, dude, I hate LGBTQ.
No, don't say
I
that.
hate white women.
He doesn't mean that.
I hate white people.
He doesn't mean
That's
that.
my message. I'm a petty motherfucker, dude. You don't think that I'm not going to try to get some of these whores fired? You bet your ass I am. I have freedom of speech. But yes, will I try to probably join the Black Panthers? You bet your ass. But I don't really But I'll settle for the blacks. But I don't want to roll with them. But I'll settle because I like them right now more than white.
Yeah, but I don't want to be a victim of a drive-by, dude.
Yeah, that's the other thing. My town, we have a lot of shootings in Providence.
You got to hold your Glock sideways. Work on your stance.
Yeah.
No, everybody's talking about, oh, you just buried your business. Like, hey, dumbass. Yeah, we know.
No, I'm curious. Do you guys get all the way out to Montana? I got some junk that needs hauling.
Oh, we haul your junk, dude. I'd love to haul. I'd do it for free for you, bro.
I'm in Jersey. I'll come by.
In closing, you guys said in the interview that you regret. Well, Sean said you regret. Ryan said you don't regret. Yeah, what is the official? I never know if that's a joke or not. Is there any regret here, or are you guys glad that you did this?
I'll do it again, dude. And I'll do whatever I want, whenever I want. The police and nobody in this town will do a goddamn thing because they're all a bunch of coward pussies that are fucking beta males that bang their fat middle-aged women and they're content.
We're 5'8", though.
But I don't care. I'm 5'8", but I'll get any bitch I want. You know why? Because I got money, dude.
Yeah, but you don't want to have to pay for it.
I make more money than anybody in this town, dude.
They're not going to believe you.
And you might not believe me, but I do, bro. So all your viewers calling me a crackhead or whatever they want to call me, they can sit and spin, dude. I don't care what they say. They won't do shit. And neither will the white devils, dude. They won't do a thing to me. You know why? Because nobody wants to go to jail.
Yeah, but we're 5'8".
I don't care. I'll fucking fuck all of them up.
All right. Well, that's our guest.
Palumbo.
Look at our hands, dude. We got Trump hands, dude. What are we doing?
Yeah, we have tiny hands.
That's our guest.
Somebody out there, tell Trump to hurry up and fucking bomb Iran. Just get it out of the way.
Well,
put those people out of their misery.
I'll talk to him.
We'll see what we can do.
Yeah,
that's our guest, the Fitzgerald twins, Ryan and Sean. You can find them on X and TikTok. It is at Ryan Sean Twins. Linked in the description. Ryan and Sean, is there anything else you'd like to promote?
Hey, no, not that. Just a dab, dude. Christ almighty. Dude. I like that symbol better. Shit to do with that. And tell the audience, up yours.
Will do.
Guys.
Gladly. Thank you for the time.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Stand back and stand by.
Thanks again to our guests, the Fitzgerald twins, Ryan and Sean. You can follow them on X and Kick, linked in the description, but my sources say those links are already outdated. So I have no idea where the hell you find them. Somewhere on the internet. Look hard, I guess. Matt might be able to tell you.
It is, hold on. x.com/RyanTwin20. And then that at the end of the URL for x.com and Kick. But I think I said it before the interview too, if anyone rewinds. But yeah, that was, I think, probably the best interview we've ever done.
That's the single greatest piece of content I've ever produced, I would say. I'm very proud of our achievements. Thank you for your assistance. We have an update from producer Tim. He's contributing as well.
Excellent.
If you would like to get the monk costume,
referral code Nazi,
medieval hooded monk costume available on Amazon. They weren't lying about that, man. That's true. That's 100% correct. And look, it's even the Australian. I got the Australian link because it's from Tim. So I assume it's available in the US though. Yeah. Should I confirm? No, I don't know. I assume.
Dangerous Spaces has the right links in the chat if anyone sees it.
Yeah, whatever. If you want a US version, I'm sure it's out there. All right. Anything else on that segment or that story before we close out with Super Chat?
I don't know if you could tell, but I was laughing so hard at one point I started crying.
During the segment, or you mean listening back to it?
I had to wipe tears from my eyes during the segment.
Okay.
It was very enjoyable. Anyway, next story.
I don't know what I expected, but as Russell Crowe might say, are you not entertained? I hope you were.
I talked to him on the phone for like 20 minutes when I was first booking him, and I could tell it was going to be a really funny interview. So he's a really funny guy.
If you think we're crackheads, up yours. That is a false allegation, certainly. All right. K-Dog Mulligan, we got that one. Polaris, we got Taker 610. By the looks of it, life has handled Chelsea. Yeah. She has been thoroughly handled. Yeah. I wonder, do you think Chelsea Handler will ever... Now, I think in her own mind, she's going to come to terms with the fact that she has lived a lie, encouraged others to live that lie. Do you think she'll ever publicly acknowledge it? Or she's taking this one to the grave?
No, you can never. It would be too humiliating.
Ryan Allen, I'm not a scholar, but I'm guessing it can't be a fighting word until they stop using it as a greeting without violence.
Seriously.
That's true. A reason Fighting words are what prompts a reasonable person to violence, but yeah, if it's used as a term of endearment and a friendly greeting, then what's reasonable about responding with violence?
Yeah.
Joshy says, Lord have mercy, those twins.
Yeah.
Well,
we'll get them back one day.
Hottie Twerkman over on Rumble says, I was rocking out to Rice and Rage, oblivious my Asian woman neighbor with a rat dog was home. Whoops, I hope you didn't play it too loudly. But yeah, if you want Rice and Rage, the full song, it's available in the listener AI music folder linked in the description. Okay, I think we're all set on chat. Anything else you want to mention before we're out of here?
Oh man, I was hoping we'd stick around for another 10 minutes. But,
well, if you want to talk about it some more, we got a little bit of time.
No, I got nothing. I guess I can't plug my book because we had the Camp of the Saints guy. So buy his book this week, but next week it'll revert back to my
if you have any leftover money. Well, first of all, go to Amazon, buy the Camp of the Saints. With what money you have left over, buy the hooded monk
after
costume.
You buy the hooded thing, obviously.
And then pick up The Air by Matt Palumbo, highly regarded. On a long list of highly regarded books you can pick up.
Or send me a tweet and I'll send you a free PDF.
That's an option as well. Save your money, get the KKK, the monk costume, and get the book for free.
And my thing's a gift.
Yes. All right. We will call it there. Appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. Thank you to our live chatters and our super chatters for making the live show a success. If you're listening on demand later, thank you kindly as well for supporting the show. Thanks to highly regarded author Matt Palumbo for his contributions. Thanks to Ethan Rundell from Vobin Books. Pick up Camp of the Saints today, linked in the description. Thanks to the Fitzgerald twins for disrespecting and threatening our audience. We appreciate the entertainment value.
They loved it.
X account linked in the description, and a Kick account as well. They're doing live streams, I take it. Thanks to producer Tim for his assistance. Find everything show related at mattchristiansenmedia.com or mattis.gay if you prefer brevity. Hey, join the MC Club. Appreciate your effort to keep the duct tape operation running. I'm back on Wednesday and Sunday nights. Hope to see you then. Until then, have a great night and a great week.
Of the vice. She said it loud, she said it proud. No take backs when the cameras allowed. Kids hear it all, engine idling loud. Hatred in the tank, fuel in the crowd.